Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chaos Child. Our character has just seen probably one of the most horrifying things he's ever seen in real life, assuming that's no delusion. That was terrifying. We saw one of his heroes, Watanabe, the legendary Nikonia reporter, vomiting up stickers. I hope that was a delusion of ours and not reality, but I guess we'll find out. October 10th, 2015, Saturday. At 12:28 p.m. In an unused classroom in Hekiho Academy. Ah, this is right before the guy dies, right? Or presumably starts vomiting up stickers.
何もないところですいませんが、ここでお待ちいただけますか?
You wait here? Sorry, it's so empty.
いえ、早く来てしまったのはこちらですから。
I called him Watanabe. It's Watabe. Oops. Okay. No, it's my fault for coming early. Watabe bowed, and the man who'd led him here from the teacher's office bowed back. Then the man left the room. He'd forgotten the man's name as soon as he'd heard it. All he remembered was that he was a typical high school teacher with somewhat delicate features. That was all Watabe thought he needed to know.
しかし、なんでもねえところだな。
Still, this place really is empty. Yeah, this is a hella empty classroom. He'd heard that Hekiho is famous, but once he'd gotten inside, he'd found it was just a normal high school. Maybe a little cleaner than most. He'd seen a TV crew from some station interviewing a student on his way here, but he couldn't imagine there was anything worth asking one.
まあ、多少は見どころのある奴らもいるみたいだが。
So is this guy gonna hear the knocking and answer the door? I guess there are some people here who are worth something. The reporter, right? Since his ostensible reason for being here was to do a new article in the Culture Festival, he had to take a few pictures. Since it didn't matter what pictures he took, he decided just to walk through the school. As he went by a class that was doing some kind of Garo Froggy cafe, there was a bit of a fuss. Student after student had asked him for handshakes and autographs. Almost the entire class had known his name. He'd even taken a selfie with a girl who said she was a huge fan of his. When he told her to keep it a secret, she'd given him an innocent smile. That's a cute frog jacket. I know. Oh my god, that's a cute frog jacket. It's like Melcherless's Leviathan jacket. I'd like one too. That was the way it should be. That was the way normal people were supposed to act.
もっと上に行ってやれ。
These normies wanting my autograph. Disgusting. I'm gonna get even bigger. It was only a short while ago that an online friend of his had suggested he come here. When he had been putting together what he found out about the sumo stickers those fucking brats at the newspaper club here had published just before he did. Yep. We beat you to it. He'd given up on publishing his own article, but at least decided to show it to someone. When he'd let his friends see it, they suggested he publish it anyway. True, he was confident in the article itself. He'd gotten a very good picture of the sumo sticker at the Love Hotel, which the newspaper club had only been able to get from a distance. There was a chance he'd be called out for plagiarism, but then his friend had continued. You're capable of turning that to your advantage, right? His friend knew him well.
所詮は高校生の一部活だ。
At the end of the day, they're still just a high school club. At the end of the day, he'll eventually be a proper journalist. You know, it's only potentially like a year out if he's a senior. Like 6 months, and he might just be doing this full time. Everything would depend on how he handled the interview, but Watabe was confident he could use this to bolster his fame. The ideal result would be to show that the newspaper club were the ones who had copied him. That would be pretty hard to do, considering they have like a timestamp ahead of you. That would be really, really hard to do if they posted before you and you've never interacted before. But if you can manage that, that would be cool. They uploaded their newspaper to Nikonia all the time, so they were sure to know who he was. If he offered them the chance to help with his articles, they'd jump on it no matter what demands he made. Man, you know what, our character's a bit of a bitch, but I don't know if he'd do that. He seems to be, the only thing he seems to not back down on entirely, all the time, is on, like, pursuing the article. Although he did back down from Cruz's demands, so maybe he would. I don't know how starstruck they actually are about him. He'd started off at the very bottom, and he'd worked his way up this far. He was capable of getting any scoop he wanted. Alright, Watabe. His power was a blessing from heaven for a man who wanted to be a first-rate journalist. In the whole history of journalism, there'd never been a case where a net reporter had identified a suspect ahead of the cops, the news, or the magazines. This guy, he's got confidence, I'll give him that. When a writer at a weekly magazine had found a suspect before the police, the whole of Japan went into an uproar. Watabe wanted to surpass that. Yeah, I feel like he definitely would have gone full Scooby-Doo if he hadn't fucking died in an hour from the scenes playing out. Or presumably he's dying. He might just be horrifically injured. Maybe? I feel like that's unlikely since this is like closer to horror than it is anything else. And generally people don't survive when you see their death on screen. The only other thing I need for it to be perfect is connections with the police. His one worry was the Love Hotel incident. When he charged into the crime scene and gotten into a fight with the cops there, his camera had gone out of focus and he'd failed to get part of the Sumo sticker. He'd used that to get the scoop, but if someone on the police force was paying attention to those stickers, and if they were caught enough of a weirdo to pay careful attention to Watabe's article, they'd find something strange. Wait, did he got a close-up, but the Sumo was fudged, so he might have edited a different Sumo sticker onto it. He might have edited his photo. Oh my god, really? People didn't really want to hear the truth. Oh no. He edited the photo, didn't he? This is implying he edited the photo. Let's repeat this again. So, he'd failed to get part of the Sumo sticker, and he'd used... Yeah, he failed to get part of the Sumo sticker. He might have edited the sticker, that's why it's inconsistent. Interesting. But of course, neither our protagonist nor our, nor what's her face, the private investigator know that, because this is from Watabe's perspective, and he's probably not going to be able to say that. They wanted lies that sounded true, embellished so that they were all the more pleasing. Yeah, okay. Oh, fuck me, he's dead. That's the knocking. He is so fucked. Okay, why on earth would anybody be knocking? Why on earth would anybody be knocking? This is Japanese high school room doors, like the ones that don't close or lock, right? The ones that like slide horizontally half the time. They're like either slide horizontally or they're like always open even after the school's closed. Like, why is someone knocking? That's so sketch. I guess that he's on the other hand, this guy thinks the world of himself, so maybe he thinks it's a fan who's like desperate not to offend him. When he heard the sound, he quickly flipped himself back into hardworking, good-natured reporter mode.
Hi, dozo. Dozo.
He's inviting him in. They didn't open the door, nor did they say anything. It's because it's a fucking ghost, man. I swear to God, it's gonna be a ghost, right? Watabe grunted, soft enough that they couldn't hear, and then put on a smile as he went to answer the door. So do we see anything this time? No? Yeah, it's just white light. Remember, last time it was just white light. Alright, we're back to the present. What is that? What is that? I don't know. Oh, Hannah hasn't said anything? There we go, a nice full image. Yeah, now's a good time to respond. Oh, I don't need to translate any of this, right? The students all started to panic at once, and the gym was filled with screams. Then Watabe's body fell to the floor as if in slow motion. His legs were splayed, his eyes open wide, still full of the terror of death. He was weeping tears of blood and... Oh wait, that's...
力士
Sumo stickers. Ine is screaming. Yes, it was a huge pile of sumo stickers. Watabe was probably already dead, but there were still crumpled sumo stickers pouring out of his mouth. My heart was racing. Beads of cold sweat formed on my back. I felt a scream welling in my throat, but something held it back. Wait, for once he's not screaming. Holy shit. The police, my phone. Oh, look, I'll just take a recording of... Oh, wait, he lost his phone. Watabe's eyes were motionless, pointing towards nothing in particular. I wanted to look away from this madness, but I couldn't.
警察って何番そうだ117
What's the number for the police? That's right. 117. No, wait, the police were... Wait, was it 119?
おい
Hey. Huh? When we heard the voice, we were finally able to tear our eyes from Watabe's body. There was a female student making her way towards us, past the crowds fleeing towards the exits. A female student? No, too grown up for that. She was wearing a white lab coat. Between that and the sharp look in her eyes, part of me thought she might be a coroner. Oh my god, this is the PI. Yep.
一体何があった
What happened here? She slowly looked at the gym. Her eyes stopped at Watabe's body.
あれは
What is that? And then without moving an eyebrow, she said,
やったのはお前たちか
Did you do that? What a weird question. Starting chapter 4, her words.
なるほどな。
I see.
じゃあ、被害者渡部さんは、時間になっても体育館に現れなかったと。
I see. So the victim, Watabe, didn't arrive at the gym on time.
はい
That's right.
そこで、宮代くんと和樹さん、それから有村さんが待っていたところ、彼がいきなり舞台に上がってきて、そこで事件は起きた。
So you three,
間違いないね。
Miyashiro, Kazuki, and Arimura were waiting when he suddenly appeared on the stage, and then it happened. That's correct?
はい
Yes.
うん
After that, things happened fast. Right to the station, get an interview. The black-haired woman called Detective Shinjo, who contacted the police station. Since our club was supposed to have an interview with him, we were questioned in our club room. Okay. During the questioning, we could hear students yelling outside, but the sound of dozens... and the sound of dozens of patrol car sirens, but it soon all faded into silence. The police had probably sealed off the whole school. There had been no announcement about what was going to happen with the culture festival. But after what had happened, yeah, probably ruined the festival there. That was a lot of fucking sumo stickers. A very curious way to die. It seems, it actually seems connected to what he recently did, but it wasn't necessarily like criminal. He was just misrepresenting himself. So, misrepresent the sumo stickers, get murdered? Maybe. There was no way it wouldn't be shut down. Yeah, not after a murder.
で、伊藤くんと小野さんは、事件の前に渡部さんの控え室へ行ったんだよね。渡部さんとは会わなかったのかい？
What then? Ito and Inoue went to the room where Watabe was waiting before it happened, right? You didn't see him? Am I a suspect? Ito's like, am I a suspect? What? That's what Ito must have thought, because he suddenly started acting strange.
でも控え室には誰もいなかったんすな、尾上
There was no one in the waiting room, right, Inoue? Yeah,
部屋は空っぽでした
it was empty.
生徒会の役員は渡部さんの世話をしてたはずだろ？
What about the student council? Someone was supposed to be taking care of him, right?
それもいなかったです
They weren't there either. Oh dear. Sarika must have been surprised by the sudden question, because she started to fiddle with her Garo Froggy's cell phone strap.
おいお前
Hey, you.
不愉快な音を立てるな
That sounds
Urusai.
annoying. Stop.
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry. Alright. Must have been only then realized what she was doing, and she quickly took her hand away from the strap.
この絵落ち着け。
Oh no, come
誰もお前疑ったりしないって。
No one thinks you did it. Give her head pat so she feels better, okay?
ありがとうタク。
Head pat the cute girl. Come on. Yeah, thank you, Tak.
有村さん、二人の言ってることは本当かな？
Arimura, is what those two are saying true? You interviewed all of them at the same time? That's a terrible policy.
本当に誰もいなかったみたいですよ。
That's a terrible idea. All these people's delusions are being reinforced. If any one of them is wrong, every single one of them, his mind will correct if it's to something close. That's a terrible idea. Also, if they're the collaborators in murdering this guy, they would all just have the same alibi now and be confirming it right in front of you. You never interview people in groups like this. This is a terrible idea. And for the exact two reasons I said. One, because people's memories suck. And if you like change a minor detail and they don't exactly remember that was wrong, their mind will adjust to remember that. So you interview people separately, and then if they're the killers, or a group of them is the killers, they're correcting their alibi for you in front of each other, so you'll never be able to match up inconsistencies between their statements and catch them in the act of lying. Bad idea, but I don't think he thinks they're guilty. He kind of just wants an idea, which you still interview people separately for that. Ah! Oh well. At least I'm pretty sure you're supposed to interview people separately. I'm not actually a cop, so I don't have any actual authority, but I believe that's the rationale between interviewing people individually. But telling the truth, it looks like there was really no one else there. There was no doubt in her voice. From the look on her face, you'd think she knew the whole story. And for some reason, Shinjo seemed to believe her.
そうか。了解だ。
I see. Got it. But he believed every word Aramuro said during the entire questioning. It was kind of strange. Did the two of them trust each other that much?
一応聞いておくが、有村さん。君は体育館に行く前は何をしていたんだ？
So I'll ask you as well, Armor. What were you doing before you went to the gym?
何言ってるんですか？直前まであなたたちと一緒にいたはずですけど。
What are you talking about? I was with you two until just before that.
もしかして忘れてます？
Did you
も
forget?
しそうなら脳の精密検査を受けることをおすすめしますけど。
If so, I would recommend a thorough scan of your brain.
いや、もちろん分かっているさ。ただ、念のためというやつで。
Merciless. No, of course. I know that. I just have to ask. Is it being recorded? Shinjo scratched his head as if he didn't know how to respond. I take that back. There clearly wasn't any trust between the two of them. In fact, he didn't seem to know how to handle her. I mean, that's kind of funny. He was like, oh yeah, we were together, right? And why would he trust what she said? Something felt strange. There was one more thing. Arimura said she was with Shinju until right before she came to the gym. But there had been barely any time between Watabe's arrival on the stage and Shinjo's arrival. What had Shinjo been doing at the culture festival?
まさか最初から何かが起こると予想してた。
Did he know something was happening here? Interesting. Yeah, why would he be here? And then he'd gotten in touch with Armor ahead of time, knowing something was going to happen? Oof. What did he know?
状況から考えると、君たちが彼の死に関与していることはなさそうだ。しかし、そうなると誰が？
What I'm seeing, the odds of you being involved in his death are low, but then who killed Watabe and how? Yeah, how do you get all those stickers in that guy's stomach enough to bloat it like that?
渡部さんが舞台に上がってきたとき、怪しい人を見たりしていないか？
Did you see anyone suspicious when he was going up on stage?
はい。誰も。
No one.
君はどうだ？
And you? The black-haired girl had been leaning up against the wall with arms crossed. She looked up.
残念ながら。
Unfortunately, no.
私が駆けつけた時、現場はパニック状態だったからな。
By the time I got there, the place was already in a panic. Her voice was as mature and calm as her appearance. She was probably a third-year student, but I'd never seen her around the school before. Maybe the white lab coat was because she was part of the biology club or the science club. What would a student be doing here with a detective?
まったく面倒なことだ。お前たちが犯人だったら
簡単に済んでよかったんだが。
What a nuisance. Few people have been the killers. It would have been nice and easy.
それどういう意味です？
What does that mean?
どうもこうもそのままの意味だ。
Ah, possibly knock him out and medically insert them down his throat? Down his throat? Make a new orifice? Or make a new hole? I think they'd notice if the method of death, if they like cut a hole in his stomach to insert them. I guess you could shove them down his stomach while he's unconscious? Shouldn't there be signs of a struggle on his hands or something like that? The room should have clues as to what happened. I'm thinking it might be supernatural in nature. Means what I
私
said.
からすればあなたの方が怪しいですけど。
Where I sit, you look a lot more suspicious than me.
私は犯人じゃない。
I'm not the killer?
どう
Really?
だ。
Well,
私が嘘をついているかどうか。
you should know
お
better
前
than
が一
anyone
番よく分かっているはずだ
if
が。
I'm lying. Oh? Arimura was clearly annoyed. But the black-haired girl didn't seem to care in the slightest.
まあまあ、久野里さん。それくらいにしといてくれ。
That's enough. Alright. We're back to knowing her name, Mio Kunosato. Her name was Kunosato, then. Evidently she knew Arimura, but it was clear from their conversation the two of them didn't get along. And for some reason...
おい、お前。
Hey, you.
はい、僕ですか。
Me? Me?
他に誰がいる？
Who else is there? There's like 6 people in the room. What do you mean?
それは
Wow, there's like 6 people. What are you talking about?
さっきから何をジロジロ見ている？
What have you been staring at?
いえ、別に。
Unconscious for an hour-ish is doable. He was late, right? He was late. He was unconscious. So if we assume, because the scene from his perspective was around 12:33, he was late by about an hour. You could put someone under with anesthetic for an hour. Yeah, that's doable. I don't know why you'd kill people like this, though. Or like how you... Well, I guess you'd know that it was photoshopped, but... It'd be a weird kill. I feel like the theme wants it to be like supernatural, though. The mind of the serial killer is mysterious. It feels unusual though. Like the streamer guy's death was very strange. Like he seemed to recognize the people who were there. He thought it was a group. Like it gave a, like, he thought it was a group of people. He thought, like, the first kill screams like supernatural death. This one, it might not be, though. It could be like some weird dosing. Could be some weird series of drugs they're giving people where they're like hallucinating shit, but I don't know.
だったら下でも向いていろ。
Look down or something.
うっとうしい。
You're bothering me. Yeah, just stare at the ground. What a bitch. Alright. Okay. I don't know why, but Kunosada seemed to have it out for me too, and not just Arimura.
一体何なんだ。
What's going on here? What did I do? I never even met this girl before. Why would she act like this?
って、
No, wait a minute. Is that wrong? Have we actually met somewhere before? Did I do something to tick her off then? It's no good. I tried to remember and couldn't. But strangely,
彼女の声。
her voice... Felt like I'd heard that voice somewhere before. Is he gonna remember her voice? But where?
ダメだ。
It's no good. I can never remember things when it really matters. I know this feeling all too well. Forgetting names of things all the time. Oh, it's this one thing. Oh, it's this other thing. Oh, can you do that? Can you... Oh, you can say this? Oh, you can speak Japanese? Say something. Words instantly flee from your mind. Yeah, I know that feel. It was really bugging me. There was nothing so useless as information that was inside you but you couldn't retrieve when you needed it. Information was only valuable if you could use it.
とにかくもう一度確認させてくれ。君たちは舞台の下で対談を待っていた。だが、いくら待っても渡部さんは現れず、伊藤君と尾上さんが様子を見に行った。
Anyway, let me just check this one more time. You were below the stage, waiting for the interview to begin. Watabe didn't show up on time, so Ito and Inoue went to check on him.
その後しばらくして、突然渡部さんが舞台に上がってきて、そこで倒れた。
A while later, Watabe came up on
間違いないね。
stage and collapsed. Is that correct? That seems about accurate. Yeah. I suddenly remembered the way Watabe had looked. His eyes were out of focus but full of terror. Well, okay, so when you say... Alright. He didn't give any details. He should have said his eyes were out of focus, because that's like a big... That's a big, like, yeah, it's a big fat flag for being drugged. If his eyes are not, like, focused, if he's, like, unable to focus, or his eyes are going all over the place like he's high as a kite, that's a concern. Out of focus, but full of terror. Might be drugged. If you thought he was just terrified, his eyes might be, like, flicking from side to side, or, like, you know, doing, like, threat analysis on his environment. But out of focus is very different. That'd be like you're high or some shit. He was weeping tears of blood, but he's not focused. His hand was stretched out as if seeking help, and the sumo stickers poured out of his mouth covered in blood and vomit. It was a bizarre scene. I looked over at Arimura, and she must have remembered it too, because she was wincing.
両目から出血。口からは異物を嘔吐か。吐き出したのは力士シールと呼ばれる妙なシールだったな。
Blood was coming out of both eyes. He was vomiting something from his mouth. That something was those strange stickers they call sumo stickers, right?
検視は進んでいるのか、新庄さん。解剖はいつ行われる？
Is forensics doing their job right now, Shinjo? When's the autopsy?
子供たちの前でそこまでは。
Not in front of the children. Oh.
子供たちの前か。
In front of the children, huh? Kunisada snorted, annoyed.
まあ、とにかく君たち新聞部には全員ちゃんとアリバイがある。心配しなくていいからな。
Well, anyway, all of you people in the newspaper club have an alibi. You don't need to worry. I breathed a sigh of relief. Even if I knew I was innocent, I'd still be terrified of being
た
arrested
だ
anyway.
君と有村君、それと和樹君は事件を間近で見た目撃者だ。申し訳ないが、所轄の担当者が資料を作るのに協力してほしいと言ってる。
But you, Arimura, and Kazuki were all witnesses to the death. I'm sorry, but the officer in charge at the station wants your help with the paperwork. Of course. It's paperwork.
はいはい。やだって言ってもどうせ連れてくんですよね。
Right. You're taking me down whether I want to go or not, right?
いや、別に君たちは被疑者じゃないか
No,
ら。
you aren't
あくまで
suspects.
も協力をだね。
We actually just want your cooperation, you see.
この前もそんなこと言ってましたけど。
That's what you said last time, wasn't it? Yeah, it's an option. We just want your cooperation. Actually, a hostage.
しかし、なんだろうな、君たちは。
What is it with you people? Shinjo brushed his hand through his bangs. He hadn't cut his hair for a while.
何がです？
With what?
前回の柿田さんの事件といい、先日の彼女、クルス・ノノさんの死傷事件といい、ここのところ怪しい事件といえば必ず君たちが関わっている。
First there was Kakita's death, then the other girl, Nono Kurus, got stabbed. Whenever something weird happens lately, you're involved.
これは偶然なんだろうか。
Is this just a coincidence? Yeah, we're investigating this murder case, dipshit. Well, he's right. You're the newspaper club. He should be putting two and two together. Even ignoring what happened to Kurus, this was another potential homicide like Revolving Dead. We were just innocent bystanders. I knew that better than anyone.
僕たちは本当にたまたま。
It's really just a coincidence.
たまたま？
A coincidence? Kunisada interrupted me.
本当にたまたまなのか？お前たちが気づいていないだけで何かある可能性は？事件を呼び寄せるような何かが。
Is it really a coincidence? Is there a chance that something around that's making all this happen and you just don't know what it is? Yeah, what could it be, bro? I tried to say something back to her, but couldn't. Her eyes were that cold when she looked at me. Damn it, what was with this girl? I was starting to get angry, and that was enough to get me to open my mouth.
僕、あなたに何か。
Did I...
なんだ
What? But I regretted it immediately. She was scary.
その、
言いたいことがあるならはっきり言え
You want to say something?
時
Say
間の無駄だ
You're wasting time. It's true, he's wasting time, but she's also terrible at working with people to get information out of them. So's Shinjo, let's be honest.
聞かせてもらいます。
I'll ask you.
その、僕、あなたに何かしましたか？
Then I'll ask you. Did I do something to upset you?
あ
Huh?
その、なんだかすごく嫌われてるような。
You seem to really dislike me.
いや、僕の気のせいだったら、
It's my imagination.
すみません。
I'm sorry.
気にしない方がいいですよ、先輩。この人は誰に対してもこんな感じですから。
Don't worry about it, senpai. She's like that to everyone. Everyone? Was that true? Oh, that's okay then.
誰に対してもというのは違うなお前たちに対してだけだ
Only to you people. Oh,
お
thanks.
前たち。
Us people?
ああそうだ
That's
お前たちだ
You people. Did she mean me and Arimura? Or...
もしかして以前どこかで
Have we met somewhere before?
いやお前のその神気臭い顔を見るのは初めてだ
Oh, this is the first time I've ever seen your irritating, gloomy face. Damn it. Why'd she have to be such a bitch? Hey, look, even the protagonist actually said that verbatim. Then why did she have to be such a bitch? Should have said that out loud. That would have been really nice.
とにかく手口から見て今回の事件もこれまでの猟奇事件との関連性が疑われる。
Anyway, given the nature of the death, it's possible this is related to the other incidents.
ニュージェネの狂気の再来すか
So it's the return of the new generation madness. The strange way Watabe had died. And then the fact that today was October 10th. Just like Shinjo said, it was possible there's a connection.
ああ、司法解剖の結果を待たなければ断定はできないが、日付と犯行の異常性は一致する。
Yeah, we'll have to wait for the autopsy to know for sure, but the date and nature of the crimes match.
ところで、宮代君、聞いてもいいか？
By the way, Miyashiro, can I ask you a question?
はい。何でしょうか？
What is it?
あのボードは君たちが？
Did you put together that board? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Shinjo was looking at the map we'd put together to follow the case.
はい、そうですけど。
Yes, that's right.
ちょっと見せてもらってもいいかな？
May I take a look? Uh-oh. Shinjo stood up without waiting for my answer and walked over to the board. And you're like sweating bullets because you're like, oh, there's pictures I'm not supposed to have there. The pictures from the Love Hotel scene are there. He's gonna get in shit. He might get in shit or be impressed the cop. Kunosada moved away from the wall and followed him.
これ、どう思う？
What do you think of this?
そうだな
Good question. The two of them started to whisper to each other. I tried to listen in but couldn't make it out. With nothing else to do, I whispered to Arimura.
久野里って人、うちの生徒なのか？
Does Kunosada go to our school? The face she's giving us, she's just like, are you fucking serious? She's like, are you fucking serious? I'm on the brink of panic here. That's the face she does. For some reason, Arimura was staring at me in surprise.
僕、
Like,
何か変なこと言った？
did I say something weird?
いえ、
There we go. She's back to normal.
先輩がタメ口だったから。
No, you should stop being so self-conscious. I must have been so distracted by everything else that was going on. I didn't think.
ごめんなさい、つい。
Sorry, I didn't mean.
いえ、そのままでいいです。私は前からそうしてくれと言ってましたし。
I've been telling you to stop for a while now. It's been like 2 days, lady.
わかりまし、じゃなくて、わかったよ。
Fine, I
有村さん。
guess I mean fine.
有村。
Arimura.
さんもつけなくていいです。
Just call me Arimura-san.
わかった。
Okay.
あり 村。
Harimura. First, the two of us have been together at the scene of Watabe's death, and now we had that strange, arrogant woman angry at us. Look, we got something in common. We're united by this woman's hatred of us. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Maybe that's what I was finally able to talk to her normally. You're like, we have a common enemy, this angry
それで
lady. So,
何の話でしたっけ？
what were we talking about?
あ、だからあの人。
Oh, her. Or in what he actually said, Anohito, that would be that person. Over that person. The two of them were still talking. That person over there. The two of them were still talking about something in front of the map I'd made.
知らないんですか？先輩と同じ3年生だそうですよ。
You don't know?
と言っても、ほとんど学校に来たことないらしいですけど。
She's a third year student like you, although I guess she almost never comes to school.
学校に来ないって不登校ってこと？
She doesn't come to school? She's truant?
さあ、私もそこまでは。
I don't know that much. So she was in my grade, but I was sure I'd never seen her at school. Ito and Kurius had a lot of connections. Would they know her?
っていうか、そ
Surely,
もそも何者なん
three
だ
of you are huge
僕
fans
た
of
ちの
her,
こと
surely.
嫌ってるみたいだけど。
Who is she? She doesn't seem to like us.
さあ、
I don't know.
さあって
Wait a minute.
知り合いなんだろ？
You know her, right?
私もこの前会ったばかりで詳しいことは知りません。ただ、
I just met her a while ago and I don't know the details, just...
ただ、
Yes. Our conversation was cut off by the sudden sound of a phone.
失礼。
It's Shinjo. Okay. Shinjo took his phone out of his pocket. It was an old Japanese flip phone. Who the heck still uses one of those in 2015? That's the protagonist lines, not mine. I thought flip phones were resurgent in Japan. Maybe my info's old? Anyway. I started to worry about whether a wrong sider like that was capable of solving this case at all.
あ、そうか。わかった。
I
それ
see.
じゃあ。
Got it. Well, I'll be on my way. Someone must have told him to go somewhere. He folded up his phone and put it back in his pocket, then turned to face us.
俺たちは先に失礼する。
We're leaving.
君たちの迎えは少し後になると思うが、
Someone will be here to pick you up later.
協力頼むな。
I'm sure. Someone will be out here to pick you up later, I'm sure. I do hope you'll help us, okay?
はあ、
Yeah, I thought they were still fairly popular in Japan. It's 2015, so that's like a few years ago at this point, but I'm pretty sure they're still like they still have a decent market share. People just like the damn things.
うーん、
Possibly because they're cheap, I don't know.
わかりました。
Alright.
だから、そうめんどくさそうな顔するなって。時間がかからないように手は打っておく。
Come on,
それじゃ
don't look so nice.
頼んだぞ。
I'll make sure it doesn't take much time. Anyway, I'm counting on you. Shinjo motioned to Kunosato and the two of them left the room. As she left, Kunosato gave us one last cold glance. And the room fell silent. No one felt like talking, so we started to take out our phones or read magazines. He said it would be a while before the police showed up to pick us up. The only thing we could do was kill time.
なあ、
Hey, I tried to talk to Arimura, but she either didn't hear me or was ignoring me. She was playing with her phone too. She seemed to be trying to get in touch with someone. It looked like she had a lot of friends, so she might have been asking what happened with the culture festival.
もう一度事件の整理をしてみるか。
Maybe I'll go over the case again.
ねえ、タク。
Taku?
Hmm?
Circa stopped me as I started to head for the board.
どうした小野江？
What is it, Ona?
能力者ってなんだろうね。
It's a psychic.
は？
Psychic? A psychic? What, a psychic? Like those con artists you see running dingy little shops? Couldn't be.
なんだそれ。ラノベかなんかの話か。
You mean in like a comic book or something, right?
ううん。さっき、
just
新
now,
藤さん
Shinto?
新庄さんか？
Shinsho, you mean?
うん。さっき新庄さんが制服の上に白衣着た人とそんなことを。
Yeah, Shinjo was just talking about them with the girl in the white lab coat.
お前、二人の話聞こえたのか？
You could hear them? Apparently she has good ears. It was true the two of them had been mumbling in front of the board. I could barely hear it, but Sarika was evidently able to make out some words from where she was sitting.
歴史シールの不可思議な現象とか、能力者がなんとかとか、事件に関係あるのかなって。
Something about the strange phenomenon of the sumo stickers and psychics. I wonder if it had something to do with the case. He's digging into mysticism. If they were talking about it now, then of course it had something to do with the case. But still, psychics? Like a mind reader or something? Someone who could move stuff with his brain? They didn't think this was caused by psychics with superpowers or something, did they?
いくらなんでも警察がそんなこと真面目に。
There's no way the police would seriously think that, right? Right? It's definitely not
聞
magic.
き間違いじゃないのか？
Are you sure you didn't mishear it?
うーん。
Suddenly, Hannah's interested. She's like, I see. Huh. Both Ito and Kazuki were looking at her questioningly.
そうかな。確かにそんな風に聞こえたんだけど。
I don't know. I heard it pretty clearly, I think.
なあ有村。
Armura, do you have
何か心当たりはないか？
any idea what she's on about? She spent time with Shinjo. Maybe she knew, but... Suddenly silent. Ooh. Armura, hello?
ああ、何ですかそれ。
Oh, what's that?
私、アニメとか見ないんで。
I don't watch anime. I see. She didn't seem really interested. She's listening. She's listening intently. Oh, that's what most people our age would think when they heard the word psychic.
尾上、他に何か聞こえなかったか？新庄さんたちの話。
Anyway, did you hear anything else they said?
他にはね、
Anything else? She was about to open her mouth. Cops arrived. The sound of the door opening cut her off. Either cops or police. I think it might be the... I would guess teacher? Yep. There we go, teacher.
宮代くん、和樹くんいる？それに有村くんも。
Miyashiro, Kazuki, are you here? Armor too? Alright.
先生。
Sir? Could have been this
よ
guy.
しよし、おとなしくしてるね。そろそろ警察に行くよ。
Good, good. You're here. We're on our way to the station. Wait, he's not the cop?
警察の人が迎えに来るんじゃ。
I thought the cops were coming to get us.
引率係だよ。君たちは別に犯罪者じゃないし、あくまでもうちの生徒だからね。警察に呼ばれたなら僕が連れて行くのが筋だと思って。
I'm going with you. You're not criminals, and you're students at the school. If the police want to talk with you, I think it makes sense for me to take you there. That's moderately sketchy. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's like a 3 in sketchy, right? Like, you're like, it pings, but you're like, it sort of makes sense, but it kind of pings a little bit sketchy. Like, you'd kind of consider going along with it. It's not like a 5 where you're like, I should seriously consider that. Okay, maybe it's a 4. Like a 3 or 4 on the sketch meter where you're like, oh, ding, that's interesting. You're like, oh, that's interesting.
どうだい？
Well,
僕っていい教師だろ？
aren't I a good teacher? The cops literally said they were coming to pick us up. As if he'd ever actually done anything for us as our advisor. But still, I felt a little relieved.
それじゃ行こうか。
Alright, let's go. Oh,
伊藤くんと尾上くんはすぐに帰宅すること。いいね。
Ito and Inoue, you two are to go home immediately. Got it?
ういっす。
Right.
はーい。
Okay. The two of them started to get ready.
先生。
Sir?
なんだい？
What is it?
その、文化祭はどうなるんでしょうか？
What's going to happen with the culture festival?
さあ、今ちょうど会議中でどうなるかはまだわからないね。
I don't know. They're having a meeting about it right now. Okay. That's all he said before he left the room. It was strange. Why had I asked that?
文化祭なんて
Don't care about the
別に
culture
どうで
festival.
もよかったのにな。
Well, you kind of want to know, don't you? Like, even if for things you don't care about, you kind of want to know what's next. It seems only natural to go, okay, well, that didn't happen. What's happening next?
嘘ね。
You're lying, aren't you? Oh, you said the quiet part out loud.
Huh?
The teacher is way too chill, considering there's a murder. Yeah. Like I said, the teacher is at least like a 3. It's at least a 3. Possibly a 4 on the sketch meter when he came into the room and was like, hey, we're gonna ignore what the cops say and just do what I think. Like, okay. Like, ding. Oh, that's a little bit weird. His calmness is slightly unnatural, but I don't know exactly how long it's been. If it's been like an hour, I would expect him to be, like, depending on the kind of person you are, I'd expect you to be calm right now. Like, as you can see, Arimura's pretty fucking calm, and Takuru seems to be fairly calm about the murder. So it's been like 30 minutes. I'm guessing it's probably been at least 30 minutes. Most people have calmed down. Shinjo's already got a thing. Like, I'm guessing the cops aren't leaving I'm guessing Shinjo wouldn't have fucking left the scene for like the first hour after a murder, okay? So, presumably, most people have calmed down if they're actually adults. That said, his defiance of the police is still kind of sketchy, and maybe, like, having an emotional response to, well, you guys okay? Would have been sensible for the future. He walked into the office, and he wasn't like, oh, wow, are you guys okay? You just saw someone die in front of you. He's like, hey, what's up? We're going to the cops. And you're like, come again? Like, he's not showing any empathy. That would be my first question. Like, you don't have to be, like, an actually caring teacher, but you should be, you should at least, like, put up a facade of caring, where you're like, are you okay? You know? And they're like, yeah, fine. You know, do the, are you okay? And you respond, yeah, fine. And then you move on. Like, you don't have to actually seriously care. You just need to kind of, like, put up an act. And the teacher didn't seem to have done that. Maybe because he's shaken up. Maybe because he's the killer. Who knows? I mean, we did see some text messages ordering the guy's death, so presumably the killer might be physical or have a network. It might be a bunch of people lying. How? I wanted to ask what she meant, but it was clear she wasn't going to tell me. He followed Wakui out into the hallway.
どうかした宮代くん
Strong, Mishiro. I could hear him from outside the room. Kazuki made a let's go gesture and looked at my face. There was something I wanted to know, no matter what. What Sarika had just said. About Shinjo and Kunosada previously discussing the word psychics. Kui's entrance had interrupted our conversation, but I wasn't sure if it was okay to really write the idea off as silly nonsense.
すみません。これから警察行くなら結構時間かかりますよね。
Excuse me, if we're going to the police station, it's gonna take a while, right?
そうなるだろうね
Probably, yeah.
だったら貴重品とかまとめて持って行ってもいいですか？置きっぱなしっていうのもなんなんで。
Can I gather my things and take them with me? I don't want to leave them here.
ああ確かに有村くん君も自分の教室へ行って持ってきなさい僕は昇降口で待ってるから
You're right. Arimura, go to your classroom and get your things too. I'll wait at the entrance.
はい。
Okay. I listened to the two of them walk away. Okay, that should buy me a little time.
おい、
Hey,
おのえ。
Onoe.
どうしたのタク。
What is it, Taku?
さっきの話の続きだけどな。
What we were talking about
聞
before.
かせてくれないか？
Can you tell me more? I like how she's like, oh, we're defying authority. Interesting. Okay, where's the target? Being questioned for their involvement in the case. A suspect? Appears unlikely. If they may have finally noticed. Understood. Continue. Of course. Dun dun dun. It's looking more and more like he's an affiliate of the killer. Interesting. Alright, Saturday. What time? Don't know. They're doing the autopsy. Yeah, Amy and Max Caddy. Interesting. Shinjo grimaced. The smell of death was enough to make him nauseous. Tomoaki Watabe's body had been taken to a university hospital and put on an autopsy table for less than 2 hours after his death. Normally an autopsy would never be held this quickly. There was paperwork that needed to be filled out and the family needed to agree. But Watabe's death was so bizarre that a cause of death needed to be found as soon as possible. Shinjo had taken a hard line with superiors and used rather forceful methods to get the family's permission to perform a lightning-fast autopsy. Autopsy. What an interesting word. The police force as a whole seemed determined to avoid a repeat of the failures 6 years ago. What was truly unexpected was Kunosada's statement that she would attend the autopsy as well. Since he couldn't let a civilian, especially a high school girl, attend an autopsy unsupervised, he'd been forced to go with her. The hospital's autopsy room was kept clean and very different from the musty atmosphere you often saw in foreign movies. What do you mean, okay, you're right. That's fair. But to Shinjo, the invisible smell of death was still thick in the air. It was nothing like seeing a body at a crime scene. It was almost physically uncomfortable. But to Mio Kunosada, as near as he could tell, didn't seem bothered at all. Shinjo and Kunosada were watching the autopsy from the waiting room next door. The wall had glass to allow them to see into the room. Okay, that's a feature I've never seen in an autopsy room. The external and internal examinations had been completed, and now they were opening up the stomach and examining it.
君はこうなることを予見していたのか?
Did you expect this to happen?
要件
Expect?
今日わざわざ渡部の対談を見に行くと言い出したのはなぜだ?
Why did you say you were going to see Watabe's interview today?
それどころか有村ひなえにも渡部と接触するよう昨日から指示していたんだろ?
Not only that, you ordered Hine Arimura to make contact with Watabe yesterday.
まさか実は君が黒幕だとかいうオチはやめてくれよ。
Don't tell me you're the one behind all this, okay?
そうできるならそうしてもいいかもな。
If I could do it, maybe I would. Shinjo couldn't tell if she was serious or not. He'd spent the last several days with her, but he had no idea what she was thinking.
渡部が殺されるかもしれないという予感はあった。予感を確信に変えるために有村に接触するように指示したんだ。
I thought that Watabe might be killed. I told Arimura to make contact with him so I could be sure.
だがまさか今日殺されるという予想はしていなかった。
I certainly didn't expect he would be killed today.
有村ひなえが渡部に接触すると何がわかるんだ?
What would you learn when Hide Arimura made contact with Watabe? She didn't answer him. Even though he was sharing police information with her, would it really kill her to be more cooperative? Man, she's really fucking annoying, isn't she? Don't you hate when you're like, what would you gain from this? And it's not like she's a person who's like, you know, like some people are like really unexpressive and they have trouble explaining what they're looking for. She's the kind of person who is like 100% capable of explaining exactly what she's looking for and then is just like, fuck you, I'm not telling you. I freaking hate people like that.
渡部はあの若さでスクープを連発しすぎていたと思わないか?
That was really early for his fucking death. I was expecting him to die because he was like in a villain role, but man, I wasn't expecting him to just instantly die like that. Don't you think Watabe's gotten a few too many scoops for a reporter his age? Where's Kyoko for? Yeah, she's a lot less charismatic than Kyoko from Danganronpa. Okay, it can't all be the same person. If every detective was the same, it'd be really boring. Some of them are standoffish, some of them are nice. Some of them are that hard-boiled ex-cop detective with a gun, smoking cigarettes all the time, you know, the classic detective. Yeah. As he spoke, he could hear a muffled moan from the corner. He's gotten a lot of skips. Or from the coroner, not around the corner, from the coroner. What the? There were microphones in the autopsy room that would let them hear anything said there.
どうしたんだろう?
What's wrong? I can't believe this.
どうしたんだ?
What's going on? Shinjo pounded on the glass and motioned for the coroner to explain. The coroner nodded and moved the body so they could see it better. Then he held up a pair of tweezers. He plunged the tweezers into Watabe's open abdomen. From where Shinjo and Kunosada were standing, they couldn't see inside. The tweezers seemed to grab something. Look at this, was all he said as he lifted up the tweezers. Between them was a sumo sticker in excellent condition. This was found in the stomach. Wow, you don't say. You don't fucking say. Okay, well, I don't want to be rude to this guy, but like, can you imagine? You're like, okay, this guy died. He vomited up some weird ass sumo stickers. Can you explain how the sumo stickers got in it? How they got in his stomach? And he's like, my God, there's sumo stickers in his stomach. You're like, thanks for the tip, buddy. Real useful. Got anything else I didn't know? Maybe like the guy's dead? There's lacerations on the inside of his stomach. He might have had his stomach rupture on the inside as well. Those are all things we could probably predict. This was found in the stomach, alright.
綺麗すぎるな。
It shouldn't look like that. It wasn't twisted or broken. The sticker was almost entirely intact. That's not all. Ah, it should look partially dissolved or melted, right? Is she thinking it should be partially dissolved by stomach acid? Or is she thinking that the picture is wrong? Or another alternative. How did he swallow it? It's way too big to swallow? That's not all. This is insane. It's insane. What? Suddenly Kunosada opened the door leading into the autopsy room.
Oi!
You can't just... You couldn't go in there without changing your clothes or disinfecting yourself. He tried to tell her that, but gave up. It was more important to find out what the coroner had seen. So he followed her in, even though he knew he wasn't supposed to. At least she could do is wear a mask. But whatever. Fine. The coroner said nothing. He just stood silently holding his tweezers. Even Kunosada was shocked by what she saw in the body. So was Shinjo. He covered his mouth with a handkerchief. It was too bizarre. Watabe's stomach was so swollen it seemed about to burst. Okay, his stomach didn't rupture, that's interesting. Inside the stomach he could see, not just dozens, but hundreds of sumo stickers.
まだちゃんと確認はしていないが、食道にも異常なほどの膨張が見られる。
We haven't confirmed yet, but the esophagus shows similar signs of swelling. This is very peculiar.
シールが途中で詰まっている可能性が高い。
It's likely it's filled with the stickers as well. Again, like, so someone either spawned a billion of these in his stomach, or they shoved them in him surgically. Like, I'm assuming they're what are they gonna find? They'd find a hole in your stomach, right? So presumably they were shoved down his throat or some shit.
考えられる死因は
What's the most likely cause of death?
窒息死だろうな。
Probably suffocation.
つまりこういうことか。
This is what you're telling me, right?
渡部は窒息するほど何枚も何枚も何枚も
Watabe swallowed sticker after sticker after sticker
力士シールを飲み込んでいた。
until he choked to death. No one, not Shinjo or the coroner, said a word. By the time Kazuki and I got back from the police, the school looked completely different. Yeah, we skipped over their discussion. That's fine. They probably didn't have anything useful happening there anyway. Oh, we haven't seen a side shot of her in a while. The bustling school building was now almost completely empty. All the police tape was gone except from the gym where the death had occurred. They must have finished their examination of the area. From the look of things, if I went back to the club room, I probably wouldn't find anyone, but for now...
Huh?
Oh, Taku, Hannah, welcome back. Hello, Sarika.
なんだ、思ったより早かったな。
You're back faster than I expected. Sarika and Ito were there.
有村は
Where's Arimura?
警察からまっすぐ帰った。もしかして僕たちを待っててくれたのか？
She went straight home after we left the station. Were you guys waiting for us?
誰が好き好んで野郎を待たなきゃいかんのだ。和樹のことを待ってたんだよ。
Why would I wait for a guy? I've been waiting for Kazuki. Kazuki gave Ito a little bow.
花ちゃん、騙されちゃダメだよ。しんちゃんは片付けに時間がかかってるだけだから。
Hannah, don't let him trick you. Shin's just being slow about cleaning up.
こらこら、言うなお前は。
Don't tell her that. Well, that's what I figured, but I felt a lot better. I could still see that awful corpse when I closed my eyes. I hadn't eaten anything this morning, and there was nothing to go up my throat but stomach acid. Because of that, my esophagus was starting to hurt. Just being able to talk to everyone like this made me feel a lot better.
あ、
Oh,
でも
but
片付けってことは
you're cleaning up. Does
やっ
that
ぱ
mean
中止なのか、学祭。
I mean they canceled the festival?
タクが出てった後アナウンスがあって。
Yep, there was an announcement after you left.
そっか。
I see.
もしかしたら延期って可能性もあるかと思ったんだけど。
I was thinking they might just postpone it.
ま、しゃあねえわな。なんたって殺人だからな。
Well, it makes sense. There was a murder after all. A sumo sticker snack might be inappropriate at the moment, and since it might have to do with all the other strange deaths, the school probably didn't have much choice. If only our character had taken a picture of the sumo stickers that the guy had been vomiting up, that would have been nice.
で、お前らの方はどうだったんだよ。犯人扱いとかされなかったか？大丈夫か？
So how'd things go for you? They didn't treat you like killers, did they? Did it go okay?
なんで僕が疑われるんだよ。むしろ重要な目撃者だぞ。
I'm an important witness.
だからじゃねえか。ミステリーで目撃者っつったら容疑者確定だろ。
That's the reason, though. In a mystery, the witnesses are always suspects.
刑事ドラマの見過ぎだって。
You watch too many. Hold up. Did you say K-dramas?
だからじゃねえか。
Oh, we have to go to the next line to hear that again. Still, just like Shinjo had said earlier, it would make sense if they suspected me, I think.
刑事ドラマの見過ぎだって。
Oh, it's a KG drama. Which isn't.
刑事ドラマの見過ぎだって。
Yeah. It's a KG is detective then? Alright. Yeah, like Shinjo had said earlier, it would have made sense if they suspected me, I think. Yeah. Where is this guy's next hallucination? Maybe his life is too unreal. He doesn't even need to hallucinate because he's like, this is actually unreal what's happening. This is the second time after a revolving dead incident that someone had died near me.
それにしてもさ、本当に今日事件が起こるなんてな。これで俺たちの推測は当たってたってことだな。
Anyway, something really did happen today. That means our guess was right, doesn't it?
そうだな。
Yeah. I leaned my tired body back into a chair and looked at the map on the wall. Now there was even more evidence. We could be certain at this point that what happened this morning was in some way related to the New Generation madness. We didn't know who had done it, or why though. The sumo stickers that made me sick every time I saw them were the only clue we had.
しかも今回の渡部の殺人には、それが直接凶器として使われていた。
And this time they were used as a murder weapon in Watabe's death.
は？なんだって？
What did you say? To be honest, I didn't really want to remember that. Can we just, like, mentally put a photo up there? Or a sketch? There was no way to know this unless you'd experienced it for yourself, but seeing something in a video and seeing it in person were two radically different things. The biggest difference was the smell. Even if there was no blood in the morning, there was still a unique stench in the air. Part of it was the smell of vomit and the excrement that slid out of the body after the muscles relaxed. There was more than that. There was a unique stench the bodies of the dead possessed. Yeah, but that's not instantaneous. That takes more than 1 second. Right? The smell of death, you might call it. Whenever I saw the body in my mind, I also remembered the scent.
警察の話だと、渡部の死因は窒息死だよな。口の中に例のシールがいっぱいだったんだろ？
The police said he suffocated, right? His mouth was full of sumo stickers?
シールを口に入れられて喉に詰まっちゃったのかな。
They jammed the stickers in his mouth till he choked?
犯人はなんでそんなことしたんだ？つうかさ、そもそも今までの事件と犯人が同じだと思うか？
Wait, why did the killer do that? And wait, do you think it's the same guy who committed the murders too?
どういうこと？
What do you mean?
だって、なあ。
Because, you know... Ito stopped and shrugged. I knew what he was trying to say. Yeah, I get it. We assumed all the incidents are related. Compared to Don't Look at Me, Leaky Noise, and Revolving Dead, this murder seems very different. The killer jammed sumo stickers into the victim's mouth until he fucking choked. It was cruel, but it also felt sloppy, brutal, and crude. But...
僕だって最初はそう考えたよ。警察から話を聞くまではね。でも。
I thought so too, but until I heard what the police were saying, but... When I was leaving the station, I heard the cops talking about the results of the autopsy. They said Watabe's stomach was filled to bursting with sumo stickers. This case was every bit as weird as the other three. I tried to get out of the chair. I was still a little tired, so I staggered a bit. Oh?
すべての事件の特徴を順を追って見てみると、
It seems to me
今
if
回
you
の
look
事
at all
件
the
は
incidents
明らかに
in
同
order,
一の事件に属するものじゃないかと思えるん
it's
だ。
clearly part of the same set. Still on it?
これ
Okay.
までの事件と共通点があるってこと？
I mean, there's something in common? The incidents before? Yeah, what's
そ
in
れを
common?
聞いてほしい。
That's what I want to
順を追
talk
って
about.
話せ。
I'll go over everything in order. Alright, it's review time. That's right, what I was about to explain included a critical factor we'd never even considered before. Not the stickers? Okay. It was what I talked to Sarika about before I'd left for the police station. Oh, you're gonna assume magic. Okay.
さっきの話の続きだけどな。聞かせてくれないか。
So we're gonna assume magic is involved somehow? Can you tell me more about what you were saying before?
さっきの話？
Before?
言ってたろ。新庄さんと久野里さんの話。能力者とか不可思議なこととか。
You said Shinjo and Kunosada were talking about psychic and some kind of mystery.
ああ、なんだっけ。
What was that again?
そうそう、なんかね、変なんだって。これまでの事件が。
I remember. They said that the incidents so far are really weird.
そりゃ変だろ。だからこそ僕たちだって追っかけてるわけだし。
Of course they're weird, that's why we're doing this.
ああ、そういう意味じゃなくてね。
Not that
死んだ被害者の人たちが。
the people who died.
ん？
最初の犠牲者、こっちみんなの人のニア生のタイトル知ってるよね。
You know the name of the first victim stream? The one in the Don't Look at Me case?
俺し、未来が見えてしまう件だろ。
Today I learned I can see the future, right?
本当にね、その未来を予知できたのかもって。
They were saying maybe he really could see the future.
は？
What? He did say he had amazing predictive abilities, right? That's crazy. Was it some kind of joke?
で、次の音漏れ弾なんだけど、ライブに来てた人が変だったんだって。
And the next one was leaky noise, and they said the people who came to her concerts were kind of weird.
変ってどういう意味だ？
What, weird? How?
ね、なんか熱に浮かされてたみたいな感じ？歌自体は大したことないんだけど、歌声に取りつかれたみたいな。
They were acting like they had some kind of fever or something. The songs themselves were nothing special, but it was like they were obsessed with her voice.
なんだよそれ。よくわかんないな。
I don't really get what you're saying.
そんなこと言われても、そう言ってたんだもん。
That's just what they were talking about.
まあいい。
Interesting.
次の回転デッドは？
What about Revolving Dead then?
バイトなのに業績がすごく良かったって。
Supposedly he was just a part-timer, but he was really successful.
それは単に有能だっただけじゃないのか。
Not just because he was good at his job. Being good at your job doesn't make you
そ
successful
うなんだ
inherently.
けどね。なんかこう、
It was more
相
like
手の望んでることがわかるっていうか、もしかしたら盗聴でもしてるんじゃないかって陰で言われてたみたい。
it was more like he knew exactly what people wanted. Some people started a rumor he was actually bugging people's offices. Back, they're definitely trying to put you on the magic track, right? I did think it was magic. All right.
私が聞いたのはこれで全部だけど。
That's everything I heard.
いや、上出来だ。
No,
よ
great
くそこま
job.
で聞き取ってくれたな。
Thanks for catching all that.
もしかして役に立つ？
Was that useful?
ああ。
Yep. All right. Shinjo and Kunosada were talking very softly, so I hadn't been able to hear it at all. It was definitely thanks to Sarika we had this information, but still... Psychic powers? No fucking way.
宮代くん、まだなのか？
Ishiro, are you ready yet?
あ、すみません。
Yep,
すぐ
sorry.
行きます。
I'll be right there. After what I'd heard from talking to Sarika, it was unbelievable, but if I looked at all the cases so far in light of that...
すべてを確かめるために、もう一度事件を整理してみるから。
Alright, I'm
見
gonna
てて
go...
くれ。
You're gonna go over the case once you want to make sure all is. Take a look. Didn't we just go over the case? What was that if not going over the case? I turned to face the board on the wall. When I did so, I could feel strength coming to my tired body and mind. Good, I was fine. What happened this morning hadn't made me afraid. Everyone looked at the map of Shibuya, even Kazuki.
なんだ円数2をプレイするんじゃないのか
What, you're not going to play ESO 2?
うん。
For some reason, Kazuki always participated when we used this. Well, whatever. I should start with the first case. The keys were what I'd heard from Sarika before going to the police station, and what I knew about the victims. Together they implied that...
そうか
I see.
そういうことな
So
の
that's
か
it. Well, tell us. No, wait, that can't be right.
けどそう考えれば全ての辻褄が合う
Explain everything, though. Actually, there were a lot of things that could only be explained that way. My mind raced. As soon as I felt the curiosity welling up within me that overrode the terror and disgust I felt when I was at the scene of the murders.
やっぱりそうだ
It has to be it.
信じられないけれど
Unbelievable, but
Ariel.
it's possible. It was a stupid idea, maybe. But if it were true, it would be incredible. It would change everything we thought we knew about the world. Sarika seems excited.
なんだよ
What is it?
気持ち悪いな
Creepy when
急
you
に
just
変な
laugh
笑い
like
声出す
that.
なよ
Out of nowhere.
だってね、なんかいつものタクに戻ったなって。
I'm glad to see you back to normal. I'm glad that our character is no longer bitching out about everything. If that's his normal, good. Now that I'd thought about it, I'd gotten so excited I'd forgotten the nightmares that were going on around me. I should get back on topic.
僕は気づいたんだ
I realized something.
直接犯人には繋がらないかもしれないけど事件の全容を知る上でいや
Is he seriously going to announce psychics as his secret thing? Oh my god.
大きな共通点に
This may not have any direct connection to the killer, but I discovered something the cases may have in common that's important. Maybe world-changing. I could see Kazuki gasp in surprise.
マジかよ
Seriously?
す
Wow. Everyone was looking at me as I explained everything in turn.
まず今回の渡部氏殺害事件がニュージェネの狂気の再来と呼ばれる一連の事件の延長線上にあるという話
First, Watabe's murder was part of what people are calling the return of new generation madness.
でもよさっきも言ったけどただの窒息死なんだろ
I said this before, didn't he just suffocate to death?
いや違う
No, that's not right.
渡部の死因は確かに窒息死だけど単に口の中いっぱいに力士シールを詰め込まれて死んだわけじゃない
Watabe is suffocated, yes, but not from having the sumo stickers stuffed in his mouth.
どういうことだ
What do you mean? I stopped for a moment and took a deep breath. I knew that when I imagined it, I was going to shiver.
彼は力士シールを胃の中までいっぱいに詰め込まれて死んだらしい
His entire stomach was full of sumo stickers when he died. Everyone's eyes went wide. I could tell they were trying to figure out the meaning of what I just said.
胃の中までそれって
Inside his stomach, isn't that?
そう力士シールを無理やりそれも噛み砕くことなく原型を残したまま大量に飲み込んであるいは飲まされて
That's right, he swallowed or was forced to swallow a huge amount of sumo stickers. Since they were found undamaged in his stomach, we know he didn't chew them either.
それが原因で窒息して死んだ
That's how he suffocated and
そういう
died.
ことになる
That's what happened.
そいつはまた
That's...
雑どころじゃないんだ
That's not
む
sloppy.
しろあまりにも変質的なんだよ
Insane.
だったら確かに今回の事件も一連の事件と同じ流れの
Yeah, you
中に
don't
あ
do
るって
that
ことになるわ
you
け
don't
か
do that unassisted. Which means the incident is just like the others then, huh? Yeah, it's a murder, it's a suicide, yeah, sure. I nodded, then wrote down a brief outline of Watabe's death and pinned it to the map.
だがな宮代それがさっき言ってた世界の常識を覆すほどの共通点なのか
Wait, Miyashiro, is that important enough to overturn everything we know about the world?
いや今のはただ渡部氏殺害事件が連続殺人事件の一環であるということを確認しただけで
That
も
was just confirming his
ち
death
ろん
was the
本
same as
題
the
は
other
この
murders.
先にある
I'm about to get to the main point. Alright, show me the point. I stopped talking for a second and looked around at everyone's faces.
まずこっちみんなと呼ばれている第一の事件の被害者大谷優馬。彼は未来がわかると言っていた。
The victim in the Don't Look at Me case, Yuma Utani, said he could see the future.
んなのただの煽り文句だろ。
That's just a silly gimmick.
いいから最後まで聞けって。
Let me finish. Ito shrugged and stopped talking.
第二の事件音漏れ炭被害者高柳百音の歌声には妙な魅力があったってファンは口を揃えて証言してる。
As for Momone Takanayagi, the girl in the leaky noise case, her fans all claimed her voice had a strange power to it.
聞いているだけでトランス状態になれるって。
They said just listening to it could put you in a trance.
あの刑事さん、そんなようなことを言ってた。
Yep, that's what the detective was saying.
クラブとかで踊ってる連中と同じだろ。音楽や歌が聴いてる人間をトランス状態にするのはよくあることだ。
That's no different than people dancing at a club, though, right? There's nothing unusual about songs and music putting people into trance.
人をそういう状態にするにはそれなりの条件が必要だろ。
But you
ク
need
ラブなんかは
pretty
そういう
specific
効果をも
conditions
た
to
らすた
create
め
that
に
effect,
作られ
right?
た閉鎖空
That's
間だ。
basically the whole point of a club.
でも高柳百音がストリートライブをしていた場所は違う。何の設備もない路上だ。
Momone did all her concerts on the street with no equipment at all.
まあいいや、
whatever.
続けてくれ。
Keep talking. Keep talking.
そして第3の事件回転デッドの被害者柿田博則。彼はまるで顧客の心が読めているみたいだったそうだ。
And then there's the victim of the revolving dead case, Hironori Kakita, supposedly capable of reading his clients' minds.
おい、
You're not saying.
まさか。
You're not saying. Ito seemed to realize what I was trying to say. That's my partner for you. He's got good intuition.
渡部のあの写真力士シールの表情が違うってことは言ったよな。
I said the expression was different on the sumo sticker in Watabe's photo, right? I'd already told everyone the expression on the sumo sticker I'd photographed at the Love Hotel and the one in Watabe's article were different.
最初あれはコラージュか何かだと思った。実際渡部にはそういう噂があったからな。でもどうやら違うらしいんだ。
At first I thought it was photo editing or something, but there's rumors that Watabe was doing that. But evidently that's not it.
刑事に確認してみたんだよ。
I asked the detective and he told me
渡部の撮った写真には改ざんされた形跡はなかったらしい。
there were no signs Watabe's photo was digitally altered.
となると考えられる可能性は
There was a chance many of Watabe's too good to be true photos were not taken with a camera. He probably used some form of psychic photography. Yep, that's right. Psychic photography. It's an explanation. I wrote everything that occurred to me down on a memo and pinned it to the map. It's insane, but okay. Ito laughed as I put it up.
いやいや、待てって。
No, no, wait,
いく
come
らなん
on.
でもそりゃない
You
だろ
can't。be serious.
しんちゃん、
Did you
今ので分かったの？
you figured out from that? Kazuki seemed irritated. Ito figured out the answer before her. She started to bang on the wall like she always did.
おいこらやめとけ。
Come on. Come on, stop that. Hannah's getting pumped up.
要するに宮代はこう言いたいんだ。
So basically, this is what you're trying to say, right?
今回の事件の被害者に共通するのは全員不可解とも思える現象を引き起こしていたという点だ。それが意味するのは
What all these victims have in common is they did things that would seem impossible, and that means they... Yes, and that means they... were aliens, had special powers, used tricks. That's right, they're aliens from outer space. They had special powers.
そう
That's right.
彼らはみんな
They all
彼らは特殊な能力を持ってい
had
た。
special powers.
そうだな。
Ito took the words right out of my mouth.
特殊ってつまり？
Wait, special, do you mean?
尾上が新庄さんから聞いた言葉で言うなら 能力者。つまり、超能力者ってことだよ。
Oh no, I heard Shinjo use the word psychics. They had psychic powers.
超能力？
Psychic powers? Yeah, that'd be my response. Are you serious?
超能力ってミステリー小説だったら奮発物どころか読者が怒っちまうぜ。
Psychic powers? If this is a mystery novel, the readers would be so pissed off right now. They're lucky they had that cold start. Or the, not cold start. What's the mid-act? It's not mid. What's it when they have a murder happen at the start of a series? I don't remember what that's called. Whatever it's called. When they have, like, a murder happen to set off the plot right at the start of the show. Anyway. They're lucky they had that. If they didn't have that, I'd be irritated. But I was kind of tipped off that it was psychic by that. So I'm kind of okay that they did that, because they were, like, hinting at it a little bit. They hinted at it there. And the singer was, remember, the singer was trying to digitize her voice and record her songs because she thought she was hypnotizing people with her voice. So at least two of the people, we kind of had a clue that something might have been going on other than just like the normal murder shit. Like there might have been an extra level, especially because he was like visited by fucking ghosts like the first guy. His death was absolutely mental. It made no sense.
残念ながらこれは小説じゃない。事実だ。
Unfortunately, this isn't a book, it's real.
だったらなおさらだよ。なあみんな。
That's all the more reason, right, everyone? Ito looked around at the others, expecting their agreement. While Kazuki had looked surprised for a moment, she quickly returned to her usual inscrutable expression, and Sarika was excited about something completely different.
超能力ってあれでしょ？こう透明になって女子更衣室に忍び込んだりするやつ。
Psychic powers? So like, what? You can turn invisible and sneak inside the girls' locker room? That's the first thing she thought of. No. Where did that come from? Wait.
まあ、そういうのもあるかもしれないけど、普通はテレパシーとか。
That's right, they're all X-Men and they're being murdered by, terrorists, I guess. Well, there might be one, but normally it means more like telepathy or something.
はあ、テレパシーいいな。携帯電話とかいらないから料金かからないし。
Telepathy, that's great. You wouldn't need a cell phone. You can make calls for free. Forget it. I should just give up on trying to talk to her about anything complicated. That was their first thought. And not, this is world changing.
超能力なんて言い始めたら何でもありだろう。それこそ誰かが遠くから超能力を使って殺人を犯したとか。
But once you start talking about psychic powers, where do you stop? Like, you could say someone used psychic powers to kill them from a distance.
いや、超能力って言っても、多分そこまで便利なものじゃな
don't
いんじゃ
think
ないか
they're
な。
that powerful. I think I know what it is. We heard knocking. Three of them, they heard knocking, opened the door, and died. I don't know how how the tied up guy died, but the other ones answered the door and died.
せいぜい一つの能力しか使えないとか。
Like maybe you only get one power or something?
それに忘れてもらっちゃ困るけど、超能力者なのは犯人ではなく、被害者だってことだ。
Don't forget, it's not the killer who has powers, it's the victims.
でも、被害者が超能力者ってことは、犯人もそうだってことも考えられるだろう。
The victims have them, we can assume the killer might have them as well, right?
まあな。
Well, yeah. It was certainly possible. Or, actually, it might be likely. It seems really likely, and we even know the the method of their death. Oh, well, the way he enacts his kills, we already know that. Just don't answer the sketchy door, and you'll be okay.
ああ、そういえばさ。
Come to think of it. Sarika cut the two of us off, and her voice was easygoing and unconcerned.
前にアットチャンネルか何かでそういう都市伝説があるってタク言ってなかった？確か渋谷で生活してると不思議な力が身につくとか。
Did you say something about an urban legend like that on 2chan or something? Something about how if you lived in Shibuya, you got strange powers? Today I learned living in Shibuya grants you superpowers. That's right. Sketchy. The sketchy door hypnosis? The sketchy door is hypnosis and not psychic? Not psychic? It could be drugs. That seems... Hearing knocking to like cause you to go completely psychotic and kill yourself is so annoying. I don't want another Danganronpa. I don't want another Danganronpa anime explanation where they're like, yes, this man showed you gore vids, causing you to completely give up on life and existence. Like millions of people in war hadn't actually seen that stuff and proceeded to be great leaders or literally anything other than psychotic trauma victims. Anyway, how could I have forgotten something so important?
ああ、それなら俺も知ってるけどさ。でもあれって地震で死んだ人の霊が取り付くとかなんとか言われてる話だろ?
Yeah, I've heard of that too, but that's supposedly because the spirits of the people who died in the earthquake make a home inside your body.
いくらなんでもそれはな。
That seems like a bridge too far to me. Besides, the killings happened before the earthquake, which means there were already psychics. You're missing that point, Shinji.
例の話は後付けで、現象だけは実際のものだとしたら。
That's a bit better. What if the thing about spirits came later and only the powers themselves were real?
んなこと言ってもさ。
I don't know.
火のないところに煙は立たないって言うよ。
They say where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
火の気のないところに火をつけて回るのがアットチャンネルだろうが。
Setting fires where there weren't any before is exactly what 2chan does, right? Right?
それはそうだけど。
That's true, but...
でも尾上は聞いたんだよな。能力者がどうとか言うのは。
Onoe heard them saying something about psychics, didn't she?
そうだよ。警察の人が言ってたもん。
How do they know that... How do you know... Okay, here's my question. How do you know that the manipulative bitch that's working with Shinjo isn't trying to lead the rest of your crew on like this psychic goose chase to get you off the fucking trail because they don't want you involved in the case? Now, mind you, the woman's kind of psychotic, kind of like a psychopath, so I imagine she'd like not give a fuck if you were involved, but if that could be a plot to throw you off the case, but you should consider that. I don't know. I think they should consider it and then dismiss it. That's like false, but it should be an idea, right? They're trying to get you off the case by like talking psychics so that you're like, oh, magic, yeah, magic, okay. We'll stop investigating. Doesn't mean... Ito still didn't seem willing to accept it. Well, I could understand that. Even I thought this was a little crazy, but for some reason it felt to me like this was the explanation closest to the truth.
伊藤の言いたいこともわかる。でも仮説の一つとして考えておいてもいいとは思わないか?
Can we at least consider it as a... I understand what you're trying to say. Can we at least consider it as a hypothesis?
それはまあ。
Maybe. He fell silent. He's not saying no. Normally, Kazuki would have gotten bored with all this talking and gone back to her computer, but today she wasn't moving. She's like, I'm here for fantasy. You guys are telling me we got modern fantasy? I'm in. Kazuki's in. She wasn't participating in our conversation, but for once she seemed interested.
まあ、100歩譲って宮代の仮説が正しいとしようじゃないか。じゃあ、もう一つの共通点との関係は?
Well, even if your theory is right, what does it have to do with the other thing they have in common?
もう一つの共通点って?
The other thing they have in common?
力士シールだろ。
The Sumo stickers.
あ、そっか。
Oh, right. The Sumo stickers were involved in this case, too. No, this time they were actually the murder weapon, you could say.
そもそも、なんで全ての現場に力士シールがあるんだろうな。
Why does every crime scene have a sticker there anyway? They're gateways for power.
普通に考えたら、殺された人が残すんだよね。ダイビングメッセージだっけ?
I believe you'd leave it on the body of the person you kill. I think they call it a diving message? No, calling card.
ダイイングな。
Dying? Not really.
でも今回の場合は、凶器そのものが力士シールなんだから、それは当てはまらない。
But this time the stickers themselves weren't the murder weapon. Were the murder weapon. It doesn't really count, yeah. Like I said, it's more of like a sign or calling card, not a dying message. Dying message is what the people being killed leave.
となる と犯人が置いてったってことだよな。
This means
自
the
分がや
killer
ったっ
put
て
them
こ
there.
とを分からせるためか、あるいは
Okay. The killer put them there maybe to say they're the ones who did it, or maybe, here we go, is he gonna present this hypothesis?
誰かに何らかのメッセージを
To
送る
send a
ためか。
message to someone, huh? Ooh, I wasn't thinking sending a message. There's too many stickers around town for it to be to send a message. There's too many stickers, which means the card would have under some kind of meaning all victims understood. The only thing they have in common is that we know about now is that they had special powers.
あ、電話だ。
Oh, my phone's ringing. Oh, phone. Sarika took her phone out of her pocket and looked at the screen, then frowned and looked at me. Is it Cruz?
のんちゃんから。
Called it. It's from Non. Non-chan.
ということで、吉祥寺で今行列ができているラーメン店3つご紹介しました。
So we just introduced 3 ramen restaurants in Kichijoji that are so popular the lines are stretching out to the door. Oh, that's
そうで
cool.
すか？気になるお店ありましたか？
Did you see one that's caught your eye? I could use some ramen. I could stand to go to a ramen restaurant right now. Especially if they're as cheap as they are in anime. Like $5, sign me
魚
up.
介スープではなく味噌ラーメン風のスープというのが新しいなと思いまして。
The second one, where you dip the noodles in the sauce, caught my eye. Using a miso-style broth instead of seafood for the base strikes me as very innovative. That sounds
そうで
interesting.
すね。
Okay.
味噌といってもつけ麺用に
I might be a little bit hungry.
結構さっぱりしているんですよね。
That's right, they've adjusted the miso so it works as a dipping sauce, and it's not as heavy as you'd think. Can I just have some ramen? That'd be nice.
今テロップが出ていますね。
They put something on screen. They just put something on screen, didn't they?
速報です。今日お昼頃、フリージャーナリストの渡部智明さん22歳が
Breaking news this afternoon, freelance journalist Tomoaki Watabe, age 22. There was a large sign at the top of the screen which read, freelance journalist Tokami Watabe dies violently drains speech. Rest in peace. I guess you stole the show, right? He stole the show. He's super famous. He's making television headlines.
渋谷署では事件・事故の両方の可能性があるとして渡部さんの死因や病気の有無など詳しく調べています。
The Shibuya police are still deciding if it's a murder or a suicide and are performing a detailed investigation into Watabe's health and the cause of his death.
渡部さんはつい先日
Watabe was in the news recently for writing an article.
渋谷で大量に貼られている歴史シールと連続自殺事件に関連性があるという内容のスクープ記事を書き注目されていました。
It connected to the string of suicides that may have been plaguing Shibuya lately with the large amount of so-called sumo stickers that have been found in the area. What is this? You hear Watabe's dead? You mean the Watabe? Ah, it's a shot. Yeah? I'm actually touching anything. Watabe, I'm gonna cry. What is with the chibi art style, or the small art style, if you prefer? You knew? Oh, but I thought he was great. Just a fan, huh? LOL. He seemed really smart. You know, when you look at him, he isn't all that hot. So is his face in the end? Oh. Why'd he die anyway? I don't know, but they're saying... That's what they were saying on Reen. Wasn't he on TV yesterday? He was writing an article about the sumo stickers in Shibuya are bad news. What? He was the one putting them up? Oh, no. He didn't put them up. The sumo stickers had something to do with the case. New generation madness, you know? Was Watabe killed? Yes. By people putting up the sumo stickers? Probably. Scary shit, lol, yeah. Those eyes are God's eyes? He's someone who has the barrier theory, right? His barrier theory? Those eyes are God's eyes? There, she's... Wait, what? He's just going on and on? She's repeating it endlessly? What? According to an announcement by Shibuya Metropolitan Police, on the afternoon of the 10th around 1 p.m., Tomoaki Watabe was found dead. Shibuya police investigating the possibility of an accident as well as murder or suicide and are looking into the cause of his death and illnesses he may have had. First, rest in peace, skipping the ASCII art. Rest in peace, Rip lol. The Schadenfreude is giving me a boner. What? Why? I don't feel like that. Anyway, he had a dance with hard luck, huh? Rest in peace. That's what you get. Holy shit, who? Rip lol. Whose eyes are those eyes? Rip lol. Did he learn too much? The darkness of Sumo stickers runs deep. This is seriously scary. How are you laughing? Somebody has to have killed him, right? Yeah? Holy shit, today's the fucking 10th. New generation madness. It's begun. Rip. Sumo stickers are God, no objections allowed. Glad that asshole's dead. Which one of you idiots did this? That's what you fucking get. The dates match again. Those eyes are God's eyes? Why do you guys hate him so much? He's just some loser plagiarist. Rip, so who's this guy again? Don't put out a breaking news update just because this dumbass Dada was recording fucking Conan. Really? Conan O'Brien's what you're like? I assume that's Conan O'Brien and not like Conan the Barbarian. Worship the Sumo stickers. Die. That proves it. Next will be 1023. Sumo stickers are God. No ejections allowed. Repent your sins. There will be no more victims. Oh great. These internet comments are so fucking realistic. Holy shit. It's amazing. The only thing that's missing is like they put like they did rest in peace like 6 times. Nobody on the internet actually types out rest in peace or like rest in peace LOLZ. They'd be like RIP LOLZ or RIP in peace because that's the meme. Most people who are like trolling and putting lols behind it wouldn't use all of rest in peace. They'd put rip. But this is a translation from Japanese, so they did a pretty good job. Other than that, let's be honest. I'm not gonna complain too much about what it'd look like. All right. Back to where we were. The Sumo stickers are gods. This guy reports on all his stuff and ends up getting killed himself. Sumo stickers are gods. Return to the madness. Don't look at me. You know he's rolling dead. 4 under debate. To be continued. Or late. Number 41 is late. That's what I'm here to see. The stickers are God, just like Watabe said. Stickers will save the world. Oh my god. Troll somewhere else. Watabe killed himself to prove his article was right. If so, he's got my respect. A miraculous carnival is about to begin. The stickers are God. The stickers are God. The stickers are God. What is happening in fucking Shibuya? The stickers are God. The stickers are God. And it's just people spamming the stickers as God. Actually, hold up. This is the same person, by the way. Stickers are God is one person. As, this is using, like, the X-Chan convention of having IDs, so while you don't know who the people are, you can tell if they're reposting by, if their ID is the same. So your ID is probably per thread. So you can see, this person, Pay VBVEFO, is basically doing nothing but shilling the stickers are God. So it's not actually like 10 people saying it, it's actually like one person repeating it. Like you can see random string, random, or you can see, okay, look at the top one, random string, next one, random string, next one, this VEFO guy saying stickers are God, then a bunch of, then this guy responds, this guy's shilling the Sumo stickers again. Same guy, VEFO. Stickers are God, VEFO guy. And then we have all 3 of these posts are literally the same person saying the stickers are God. That's weird. The timestamps are off on these. The timestamps are off on these too. 18, 22, 54, 47. Or is it backwards? No. That shouldn't be possible. That's a later timestamp. These are in order. Oh well. The timestamps are slightly off. This guy also posted 2 posts at the exact same time, which is pretty hard to do if you have it accurate to the second. Because the dates are time. Anyway, not important. Point is, it's one person posting all those. So it's like one guy. I like that detail though. Like, I thought the IDs were all unique, and then I noticed it when that guy posted the same thing 3 times in a row. I was like, oh shit, they're actually, oh, you can actually, like, click scroll. That's cool. You don't have to just use mouse wheel to move this. I thought that's a nice detail. I mean, the daytime seems slightly off, because there's, 2250.00, 2323, but 2254.47 came before 2250, which is slightly off, but whatever. It's no big deal. No big deal. I'm loving the detail they put into these. This is great. This is fantastic. Like, I didn't even notice that the IDs are intentional. Anyway. Oh boy, it's delusion time. We've had enough good delusions. I silently looked at the building. Oh, right. That's hide text. It's time for a bad one. We're gonna get stabbed to death or something. The lights were on in the room at the end of the living room on the 3rd floor, which meant she was awake. I'd known she would be, but still I couldn't help but sigh. That was the end of my last hope. After Sarika had answered the phone, she'd handed it to me without saying a word. Just like I expected, her voice was calm. Both me, Sarika, and Ito knew from experience that meant she was angry. She told me to come home immediately in a flat, emotionless voice. I couldn't even make any excuses. I've been hoping she'd be asleep when I got back, but now I realized there was never any chance of that. No, I didn't know for certain that she wanted to talk about what happened today. It might be about something else. Surely it's about something else. Maybe Karus was feeling worried too. I was already a witness to one death, and now today I'd seen another. If they were all part of the same series of murders and the killer hadn't been caught yet, maybe I was in a pretty dangerous position. I was trying to find the killer just like the police. It was possible I'd gotten in too deep, and now the killer would come after me. Wait a minute. Karus was the vice president of the newspaper club and my sister, so maybe she was in danger too. It wasn't that long ago she had been stabbed. They'd arrested the guy who'd attacked her, but I heard he was practically insane. What if the real killer had sent him to stab Karus? What if the person who found my phone saw Karus' photos and the phone number, and now is after her? That's overthinking things. I tried to tell myself that as I went inside the house. But when I knocked on Karus's door, there was no answer. I thought she might be asleep and trying to open the door, but it was locked from the inside. I'd seen the lights on from outside, so maybe she was sleeping with them on? I didn't see Dad, Yui, or Yuto anywhere. Oh boy. The level of sketch is going up. The level of sketch is going up. The house was always so lively, but it seemed eerily quiet. Why wasn't there anyone here? Where had they gone? Did they go to get food and leave Karus here? But I looked at the time, and normally this would have been when Dad was closing up the hospital. The front door, that is, the door to the clinic itself, was still unlocked. All the lights were still on. No way, right? I suddenly had a horrible thought. I started thinking of even worse things. I decided to try calling Karus' cell phone from the line in the house. I heard the sound of a ringtone. It was coming from her room. She was asleep after all. Why would she call me here and then go to sleep? What the heck was she thinking?
Oi, Karus!
Karus, wake up. Open the door. Karus, wake up. Come on. That was strange. I was pounding on the door and there was no response from inside. I had a bad premonition. There was no way. It wasn't possible, right? I tried to tell myself everything was fine, but it wasn't working. I tried to kick down her door. I ran into the room and gasped at what I saw. The whole room was covered in red. The walls, the bed, the carpets, the desk, the stuffed animals. The room was covered in bright red blood everywhere you looked. The smell of blood was strong enough I almost threw up. I couldn't bring myself to take another step. Whose blood was this? There was no sign of Karus in the room. She was gone. No, not only were Dad, Yui, and Yuto missing, but so was Karus. She disappeared, leaving behind all this blood, leaving behind her smartphone. She disappeared without a trace. The door was locked from the inside. Even the windows were locked. The words, missing person's case, flashed through my mind. But I knew it was much worse than that. I fell to my knees and clasped my head in my hands. The room looked very normal for being covered in blood. It just looked like it was dark. They didn't even recolor it. I knew that Dad, Yui, Yuta, and Chris too were never coming back. Alright, so that was our exciting delusion. That was just a daydream. I couldn't say for sure it wouldn't happen, though. The position I was in was just that dangerous. When I was inside, she was sitting on the bed waiting for me. Lame. Lame. Need to lie down or we'll open up your wound again, right?
また警察に連れて行かれたって聞いたんだけど。
I heard you had to go down to the police again. Oh boy, thanks. Thanks, just what I wanted to hear. Oh, you went down to the police again. How many times are you gonna get arrested, buddy? Thanks. You just cut me off. Her voice was calm and level. Normally this would have been a relief, but in Carusa's case, it made me feel more scared. Everything she does makes you scared.
この情報に間違いはないわね。
That's correct, isn't it?
誰の情報?
Who told you about that?
そんなの誰だっていいでしょ。
Doesn't matter, does it? Anyway.
それより本当なの？どうなの？
Well, well, you see, they didn't suspect me of doing anything sketchy. It wasn't my fault this time. Oh shit, we're in trouble. Oh, we're in trouble. Well. Kawahara must have fucking told her. Holy shit, Kawahara. Damn it, why do you have to tell Cruz of all people? I knew I was in for another lecture. No, I'd be lucky if it was just a lecture. If it was anything worse. Good news is she's been stabbed. She isn't very active. You can run away. Just run away. Run away, my friend. I didn't want to think about it. If her voice was this calm, it was a warning sign. Close the door and walk away. She's injured. She can't keep up with you. And if she moves faster, she'll reopen her wounds and could bleed out. You're safe. You're safe. Just run. I needed to proceed cautiously.
さっきから黙っているなんて一体どうしたんでしょうね。もしかしたら私の声が聞こえなかったんでしょうか。
I can't hear you from all the way over there. I'm sorry. It must be your injury. It's keeping you quiet, making you think you're loud. Why are you being so quiet? Could you not hear me? She suddenly changed. You're kidding me. Normally I'd get at least a little more time. I told you,
そういうこと
retreat,
なら
retreat.
もう一度お聞きしましょうか。
There's no glory in
先ほど
pointless
のお
defeat
話
here.
は
Should I ask again? Is what I just said.
聞こえてます。
I
大丈
can
夫で
hear
す。
you. I'm fine. It's fine. Fine.
そう。だったらどうしてお返事してくれないのかしら。
I see. Then why didn't you say anything?
すみません。
I'm sorry.
まあいいでしょう。
Well, it doesn't matter.
それ
So?
で
So?
はい。さっきの話はその
Yes.
本当
What
で
you
す。
said is true. Never a good sign.
でも
Oh,
それ
she
は僕の
sighed.
せいじゃなくて事件が起きたんだからしょうがないっていうか。
It's not my fault that there was a murder and there was nothing I could do about it.
ほら、クルスも
You
知
know
って
what
る
happened
だ
with
ろ。
Watabe, right?
渡部との対談の件。
I tried to stop my voice from shaking as I told her everything that had happened that day.
そういうわけで警察に連れて行かれたのは僕たちが重要な目撃者だっただけで他には何もないから本当に。
So you see, the reason we had to go to the police station was that we were key witnesses. There was no other reason. Really, really. Chris was watching me with extremely cold eyes the entire time I talked. Well, the good news is she can't kill you from here. She's stuck on the couch. You're at the entrance, or she's stuck on the bed. You're at the entrance. She has to move slowly or she'll tear her stitches, causing her immense pain. You're very safe. Sort of. Maybe. She might still rush you. I somehow managed to look back at her as I shared something that wasn't an excuse that I've been feeling lately.
でもさ、最近なんか少しおかしいと思ってるんだ。
Things do seem a little strange lately.
おかしい？
Strange?
何が？
What does?
最初はさ、もちろん僕たちから興味を持って事件のことを調べてた。
At first we were following the case because we were interested in it.
けど最近はその事件自体が逆に僕らを追ってきてるようなそんな気がするんだよ。
Now lately it feels like the case is coming after us. The case is coming after us. When I said that, I realized how right it felt. That was the only way I could think of to describe what had happened today. It was Watabe who asked for an interview with us. And Watabe had died in front of us before we'd even talked to him. We hadn't had a choice in any of it.
昨日
Yesterday. Carice opened her mouth quietly.
昨日言ってくれたわよね。
You told me yesterday, didn't you?
昨日考えるってそう言ってくれたわよね。
You think about it, right?
それは
That's... I'd said that, yes.
僕だってそのつもりだったよ。でも今日またいろいろあって
I meant it, but
それで新しく分かったことがあるんだよ。
a lot of stuff happened today. Hold the fucking phone. I just noticed this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you look closely, the period after I meant it, like the T, the period after that, is actually square, and the ellipsis after the word but is actually, all the periods are round. I just noticed that, and it's kind of bothering me. Like, use the same periods, right? At least the same shaped one? Like, they use square-shaped commas, and square-shaped apostrophes, and square-shaped periods for sentences, but ellipses are rounded. That's kind of weird. Quotation marks are also square. Weird to change. The dots on the eyes are also square. Interesting. I hadn't actually thought about that, but I just noticed it when I was looking at the fact that the period is actually below the I and the T in it, and actually below a lot of the text, but I'm not 100% certain that the ellipsis is below all the text, which is also unique. I didn't think most fonts put periods below all their text. They usually put it in line, don't they? Anyway, just some weird, just a weird quality of the font. Maybe it's because it's large text. I can't quite tell. Maybe it's because like the text is large that it's noticeable, but oh well.
わかったこ
It's
と
an unusual thing when it's something new.
そうなんだ。さっき部室でみんなと話してたんだけど、今回の事件の被害者には共通点があるんだよ。
That's right. I realized when I was talking to everyone in the club room that all the victims had something in common.
その共通点とは何かっていうと、
See, they all...
実は
Then I stopped. Yeah, you're gonna sound crazy. Don't need to... I wasn't sure if Carice would understand what I was trying to say. I couldn't think of anything else to do, so I just told her exactly what had happened.
実は一連の事件の被害者って
All of the
みんな
victims
特殊な現象を
had
体
something
験してたみたいなん
special
だよ。
happen to them.
未来予知とか人の心を読んだりとか念写とか、つまり超能力ってことで。
You can see the future, or read minds, or use psychic photography. I guess you could call them psychic powers.
超能力
Yeah. Psychic powers? Carice froze. She probably hadn't been expecting that.
そうなんだ。全員が何かしらの能力を持ってた可能性があって。
Why did you say that? You're acting in the wrong way for someone who's not sold on your even being in the case. Why not say something like, they all thought they had psychic powers, or people thought they had psychic powers?
この予想が本当なら、
I'm right
事件そのものだけじゃなく、世界的な常識を根本から覆すことになるかもしれない。
It might change
これっ
everything
て
we
す
know
ごい
with
こと
the
じゃん。
world. Isn't it amazing? She's gonna be like, you're fucking stupid. Then I realized she was acting strange. Her gentle expression, the smile had vanished, and she was sitting there expressionless. Then I realized I made a mistake, but it was far too late. It was just about to blow. When she got like that, it meant she was building up her anger for an explosion. The only thing I could do now was wait for the thunder to come crashing down on me. Tactical withdrawal. Come on. We don't use the word retreat here. Here it comes, here it comes. Just one step at a time backward. Look behind you, take a step backwards. Look behind you, take a step backwards. Close the door, and walk off. I closed my eyes. But I waited and waited and waited, and nothing happened. I opened my eyes and saw...
お願い
And now you sound completely insane, like the stark raving mad homeless person. Like the stark raving mad homeless person you are. Come on, man. Karu's looking weaker than I'd ever seen her before. That's what we see.
タクル、
Takeru,
お願いだから
please. Please stop
これ
this.
以上はやめて
Don't do anything.
やめて
Don't do anything else. She reached out with shaking hands to grab my arm.
クルス
Karus.
怖いの
I'm scared. She's using so much weight. What? What?
これ以上あなたが事件に首を突っ込んで何かあったらと思うといても立ってもいられない怖くて
When I think about what could happen if you keep getting involved in this, and then something does happen, I just don't know what to do. I'm so scared.
あなたにだってわかるでしょ
You know what it feels like?
大切なものを失うのがどれだけ辛いことか
To lose something you care about?
私はもう失いたくないの家族を大切な人を
I don't want to lose my family again. I don't want to lose the people I care about.
だからお願いタクル
Please.
そんなおかしな事件を追うのはもう
Please,
やめて
Takeru, just give up on the case, please.
お願い
Karu seemed so weak, like she was about to cry. I was shocked. I never thought she'd let me see her like this.
あ
Oh,
そうか
that's it. So that's it. I still didn't understand how much I'd been making Karu's worry. Her hands gripped me harder, as if she was trying to stop me, as if she was clinging to me. A gasp of pain slipped from her mouth. Maybe her wound had opened again, but she kept on clinging to me tightly. She held me and wouldn't let me go. I was a fool. I was such a fool. I'd gotten cocky because I'd learned something new, and forgotten how much that would hurt the people close to me.
ごめん
Sorry. Sorry, I'm not the most boring person in existence. But I don't just turn a blind eye to every unique thing I see.
ごめん本当にごめん
If someone kills and I actually want
そ
to
んな
know
に
who
心
killed them.
配させてたなんて僕
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize it worried you so much. I
タクル
Tucker,
それじゃ
then
でも
but I removed Karu's hands as gently as I could. Huh?
一つだけやっておかなきゃいけないことがあるんだそれだけは許してほしい
There's one thing I need to do. Just let me do this one thing.
それは大事なことなの
Is it that important? Yes. Yes, it is.
私たち家族より大事なことなの
Well, more important than your family? You call me your family, but you lie to me.
同じくらい大事なことか
Probably
な
just as important.
同じくらい一体何がそんなに
Just as important? What is it?
スマホ取り返さなきゃ
I need to get my phone back. I need to get my phone back. My phone was stolen that night. That was in the hands of a mysterious girl who was either connected to the killer or the killer herself. I didn't know. Pity we didn't tell the cop that. That would have been really handy. We're like, oh yeah, some girl and an old man took my phone and rang me up with a knocking sound that I think might be connected to the killer. Well, yeah, I guess we aren't cooperating like with them as equals, and they'd kick us off the case if we knew. So yeah, fuck them, I guess. Given what I'd seen so far, there was no way she wasn't connected somehow. So I had to get it back no matter what.
そんなの
That's not.
ダメなんだあれには新聞部のデータが入ってるそれにここのことも もしそれが見られたら。
I have to. It's got newspaper club data on it. And information about this place too. If someone sees it...
データって連絡先とか取材の成果とかでしょ。それにロックだってかけてあるって。
Data? You mean our contact info and the results of our research? Nothing else, right? And you said it was locked.
うん。
Yes.
でももしものことだってあるし。
But it's still possible something could happen. Anything's possible if you have the hardware. You have the device, you got physical access. Eventually you get access if you really want in. There really was psychic powers. Someone might have a way to get data off it. And then something terrible might happen. No delusions here, by the way. Suddenly the lights went off and the room was plunged into darkness. The darkness was so sudden my eyes didn't have time to adjust. I could barely see anything. What's wrong? Even though she was right in front of me a second ago, she didn't answer. It was only the silent darkness. What? What just happened? What's going on? Cruz? Answer me, where did she go? Cruz, answer me.
クルスノノならいない。もう殺した。
No, Cruz isn't here. I killed her already. Suddenly a voice came from the darkness. I turned toward it and I saw a small shadow standing there.
宮代タクルだな。
This isn't a delusion. Takuru Miyashiro, right? Miyashiro, right? Who are you?
愚かなやつだ。余計なことに首を突っ込まなければ死ぬこともなかったろうに。
Okay. Anyone thinking drugs? Our character hasn't taken anything, and was literally mid-conversation with someone, and a fucking wizard just ported him into another dimension. There is no way that's drugs. No way it's not drugs. Also, I should really save. We've been playing far too long. If we get a crash, that would be a disaster. If you hadn't get involved, you wouldn't have to die. Alright, well. Fuck you. Huh? Alright, psychopathic murder Alright, hold up. Yes, murder lolly. Psychopathic murder lolly. We'll just put that off on the checklist. Alright. Her hands were filled with knives. The silver blades shone with a bloody crimson light. It wasn't just the light that looked like blood. There was liquid dripping from it that looked just like... That's not it. That's blood. Real blood.
そうだ、血だよ。言ったろ？クルスノノを殺したと。
That's right, it's blood. I told you I killed Nono-kun. The girl with the knives pointed to a corner in the darkness and grinned. I saw the silhouette of something that looked like a head. It was rolling on the ground. Screw.
今さら後悔しても遅いぞ、宮代タクル。これはすべてお前が招いたことだ。
It's too late for regrets, Takuru. It's all your fault. She smiled and started to walk towards me. I screamed out into the hallway, but there was no answer. I heard nobody call back to me.
ああ、無駄だよ。お前の妹も弟も父親もみんな殺しておいたからな。
I'm thinking this is a delusion too, actually. This seems very peculiar to have like everyone spontaneously be killed. More importantly, there's this red haze that's very reminiscent of all our other delusions. Alright. Little sister or brother dead? Killed them all? It's exactly the same as our negative delusion that we had 5 minutes ago too, which is really weird.
あとはお前だけだ。
You're all
さっ
this
さ
love?
と死ね。
Yeah, die.
Takuru?
Takuru?
どうしたの
What's wrong?
Takuru?
What? I suddenly found myself back in Kurus's room. She was reaching out a hand towards me, concerned. She'd been stabbed because of me, but she wasn't dead. She was alive? It was just a delusion. I wiped the sweat off my forehead and told Karus over and over again. I was just fine. That delusion was...
今の妄想は
If I wasn't careful, it might become real. The data on that smartphone was too dangerous. Of course, that wasn't the only reason I wanted it back. Because it had... the picture. The picture. Now, smart people in 2015 would have uploaded that to the cloud if they really cared that much about the picture. Mind you, I had pictures I would have thought were important. The picture we'd taken together. I hadn't told Karus. I never would, but that's my one precious memory. The only one I had. That's why I hadn't even made a backup. Oh right, this is the guy that deletes everything that's not local. Right, I forgot that. He deleted all his video backups too, right? Because he doesn't believe in backing stuff up because he... I don't know why. He doesn't believe in backing stuff up, so... believes in the opposite. Making sure you don't make backups if it's important. Probably a schizo, yeah. If I did, it felt like it wouldn't be special anymore. Yep, that's right. If we don't copy-paste this photo... If we copy-paste the photo, it wouldn't be special anymore. Are you like this one of those weird people who thinks people's souls reside in their photos? Anyway, it was a picture of my family. Back when I still considered them my family. Back when things were fun. It was the one thing I owned that I really cared about.
とにかく、あれだけは何としても取り返さなきゃならないんだ。
Anyway, I need to get it back no matter what. Sir, you look like you had like a brief mental breakdown to literally everybody else here, but okay. I gripped Karus's hand softly for a second and headed for the door. Sakura! She tried to get up from the bed and buckled over from the pain. I wanted to turn back and help her. I wanted to run over, get her back into bed, call Dad. That's what I wanted to do, but if I went back now, she wouldn't let me go. So I left the room and closed the door without looking back. Sakura! See, I told you, you could just withdraw at any point. I could hear her voice on the other side of the door. It stung a little. Brother Takuru, I just heard Sis Nono's voice.
また傷が開いたかもしれない。すぐに父さんを呼んでくれ。
Her wound may have opened again. Call Dad right away. Okay. Takuru, where are you going?
僕にはやることがあるから。
I have something I have to do. He's saying like this like he's going to fucking die. Holy shit. You can't just leave. Stay with Nono. Wait, Kakuru. I ignored Yui's angry yells and ran out the door. Get back what was important to me. This guy is literally putting himself in harm's way for that fucking picture. What a fucking idiot. It's a picture. Every single person in that picture is still alive. It's not like it's his dead, if it's only picture that he's ever taken with his dead dad. It's like, no. This is a picture where every single person in it is alive and you could have them do the photo shoot again if you wanted to. Sure, it'd be like a little bit older, but like, if you really cared to have a picture of your whole family there, you could do it. It wouldn't be hard. You wouldn't have to risk your life. They'd all be totally willing to take a picture of you with you. They're all like obsessed with getting you back too. Anyway, I had to go back there to AH Tokyo General. The hospital, that is, of course. October 10th, 2015, Saturday. Carice stared silently at the closed door, her heart filled with regret. She should have tried harder to stop him. She's done literally nothing. She should have ignored the wound in her stomach and clung to him harder. Fortunately, the wound didn't seem to have opened. In that instant, her father Sakuma's words had come back to her. If you push yourself too hard and that wound opens again, it might leave a scar. His wounds had stopped her, and Takuru Miyashiro had left. In the end, maybe she only cared about herself. Maintaining the illusion of her perfect family life seems to be her only goal. It's true she didn't want to lose her family. But...
あ
の病院に近づいちゃ
Don't go near that
ダ
hospital.
メなのよ。
Don't do it. Well, I feel like you aren't doing a good job even remotely supporting your family members, so you're a terrible sister. She picked up the smartphone that had fallen to the floor when she stumbled out of bed. She opened the screen with trembling hands. On the screen was... Senri Minami Sawa. Who is this? Sorry, I'm late. Ito saw us from across the street and ran over.
悪いな。
Sorry, so you're breaking it again.
声
No, it's just your voice.
と、
Oh, sorry.
すまん。
Ito quickly lowered his voice.
こっちこそすまないな、こんな時間に。
Sorry for dragging you here at this hour.
タクと私たちの仲だもん。
We're friends, right?
それに、お前一人で行かせて何かあったら、女帝に殺される。
If I let you go alone in Southern Capital, the Empress would kill me. Good thing the Empress is crippled. You're safe for the next 2 months. When I heard the word Empress, I remembered how desperately Carusa tried to stop me. I shook my head a little to drive the image out of my mind. We've seen enough murder, yeah. We know exactly what it looks like when someone dies. We don't want to see Ito die. We don't want to see Ito die too, Carus. After I'd left yesterday, I'd gone straight to AH Tokyo General. This time I wouldn't be able to blunder in like I had when I snuck into the psych ward. I'd spent the whole night looking at the locations of the ER entrance and emergency exits as well as the security system. Look, actually casing the joint before you break in. Good plan, man. Then I'd spent today pretending to be a visitor, or visiting a patient while I scouted the inside, and in the evening headed to Sarika's house. I wanted to do it alone, but I realized that would be too dangerous. I needed a partner who could contact Shinjo immediately if something happened, and the only 2 people I felt I could ask were Sarika and Ito.
うまく取り戻せるといいな、スマホ。ここの連中が犯人と関係あるかどうか知らねえけど、やっぱりあれを渡したままにしておくのはまずい。
I hope we can get it back. I don't know if they've got anything to do with the killer. We can't let them keep it.
ああ、おかしな着信もあったしな。
Yeah, we got that weird message too.
思い出させるなよ。
Don't make me remember it. It still scares me.
恐ろしい。
I'd canceled my phone contract immediately, but somehow it called Ito. That had scared the hell out of me. And unlike older cell phones, a smartphone was filled with personal information. There was no way I could let them keep it.
それにさ、あれには大事なものが入ってるもんね。
It's got something important on it too.
何が
What does?
素直じゃないのって良くないこともあると思うな。怪我してるのんちゃんを喜ばせてあげてもいいのにね。
Sarika knows. Sarika knows. Abandon mission. Abandon ship. Or Sarika knows. Abort mission. We're fucked. Oh, we're gonna get roasted. No one's gonna find out. Oh. Abort mission, guys. Come on. Not good to lie, I think. And you should try to make No happy since she's hurt.
ま、宮代らしいけど。
That's just like you, though.
悪かったな。
Sorry.
んじゃ、行こうぜ。お前が調べたデータだと、そろそろ警備が交代する時間だろ。
Okay, let's go. According to the data you gathered, it's about time for the guards to change shift.
あ、
Yeah. We nodded to each other and jogged along the wall surrounding AH Tokyo General Hospital. I'm gonna start referring to
こ
as the
こ
hospital.
までは予定通り。
So far, so good. Actually,
むしろ上々だな。
better than expected. Ito was right. Getting into the hospital had proved easier than planned. A big part was the way I'd memorized the way in, but the biggest advantage we had was the rear staff entrance was unlocked for some reason. Oh, dude. He went for it again. Fucking Christ. The door was open for some reason. You fell for it again? You're like 0 for 2. If it had been locked, we would have had to go through the ER entrance. That would mean we'd probably be caught by staff. Just as I was starting to worry, Sarika turned the doorknob and told me, it's unlocked. The door was unlocked again, just like before. What? Again, buddy, like... Clearly, whoever's watching you is, I suddenly remembered that what had happened when I first snuck into the psych ward and almost stopped for a second to think. That would have been smart. Then I drove the idea from my mind. I needed to focus on getting the phone right now. It was nighttime at the hospital. This wasn't a ward where patients were kept, and the lobby was pitch black. Sometimes I could hear a strange, unpleasant sound like two pieces of metal touching. We dropped low and tried to move quietly. Someone could spot us at any moment. It was the middle of autumn, and I could still feel cold sweat running down my back.
問題はスマホがどこにあるかだよね。
The question is, where is the phone exactly? Right? Yeah. The girl was definitely the one who picked it up, which meant finding her would be the fastest way, but I had no way of knowing where she was.
だからって病院の中を全部探して回るわけにもいかないし
Where
な。
are you searching? Are you going to search the floor you left off on? Or are you going to search the room? What are you going to do? Doesn't mean we can search the wole hospital top to bottom. Yeah, there's probably 1,000 patients.
あの日、
Probably hold 400
どこで
patients
あの
easy.
ことはあったんだっけ？
Where were we ran into her last time? Being a dumbass. Sorry. I retraced our steps on that day. First we hid in the bathroom, then we went to the psych ward. Yep, 5th floor psych ward, right? Where we'd seen the sumo stickers drawn on the walls in blood.
ってことは、まずはそこに行かなきゃいけない
We
っ
need
て
to
こ
head
とか。
there first?
いや、何もそこまでする必要
Not
は。
that far. And then we took the exit, right? I didn't want to go back there. That's fair.
病棟から逃げるときに非常階段を使った。階段をずっと降りていって、そこでスマホを落として、あの子に拾われた。
When we escaped from the hospital ward, we used the emergency stairs. We went all the way to the bottom, not all the way, which is where I dropped my phone and she picked it up. I think
と
we went
な
down
る
one floor.
と、その非常階段に向かえばいいってことか。どっちだ？
Which means we need to go to the emergency stairs. Which ones?
それが、逃げるのに夢中だったから、はっきりとした場所
I
か
was in
な。
such a hurry to get out of there. I don't remember. It was the ones right by the person's room. Just look at the map and figure out where the guy's room would be. I hadn't been able to remember when I'd been scouting the place out this afternoon either.
多分あっちかも。
I think it's that one, maybe. Sarika started to move forward, looking around as she walked.
覚えてるのか？
Do you remember?
うん
She was...
なんとなくだけど。
Oh, it's just a hunch, but Sarika has a decent head on her shoulders. Sarika walked forward hesitantly. We followed. Okay. Yeah, imagine tracking... Imagine putting a tracker on your phone. Or just enabling the GPS. I mean, I imagine if someone is competent enough to hack your phone... If someone's competent enough to hack your phone, they'd turn off the GPS though, right? Like, they'd probably turn off the GPS, because they've already gotten access to the device, and are able to make phone calls using his contact lists freely.
違うかな。
Yeah, maybe not?
いや、そうだったかもしれない。
It might have been. There was a steel door to the emergency stairs in front of us. I turned the knob and softly pushed it. It was a little heavy, but it opened without catching on anything. Not locked either, apparently. The emergency stairs stretched up and down, illuminated by cold, fluorescent lights. As I stared at them, I realized that I remembered coming down these stairs. They should all look the same, right? They're fucking stairwells. They probably all look the same.
多分ここだ。
This is probably the place.
すごいな、小野江は。
You're amazing in a way.
褒められちゃった。
I got a compliment. Sarika grinned.
よし、行こう。
Go.
ああ、
We carefully walked down the dimly lit staircase. I started to get more and more nervous. Even though I'd done my homework before I came here, wasn't this even easier than last time? Maybe we're being led into a trap. I'm more concerned with why you think that a random girl has your phone and you're going to find her in the emergency staircase. How does she know you're there? Unless she's psychic and is going to murder you. Or is looking for a confrontation. I feel like you're not going to find her. Anyway, maybe we're being led into a trap. Maybe something terrible is waiting up ahead to swallow us. I tried to shake my head and drive the thoughts from my mind.
あの子、今夜もまたどこかを歩いてるのかな。
I wonder if she's walking out again tonight.
どうだろう。
I'm not sure. What was she doing with an old woman in a dark hallway at that hour? Oh, you're right. It was a woman? I thought it was an old man. Where did she come from and where did she go? Jill? Alright. If I run into her again, what should I do? Ideally, I get my phone back without causing too much of a fuss, but I couldn't imagine things would be that easy. Yeah. How do you think things are gonna go? For now, I thought of an escape route, but it still seems dangerous.
ね、タク、ほら、
Look at that.
あれ
Look over there. We'd reached the end of the staircase. There was a cold steel door in front of us. There were no further stairs to go down. Past this door would be the hallway where I dropped my phone.
もうここまで来たんだ。
I've come this far already. I told myself there was no time for second thoughts and nodded at Sarika and Ito. Then I put my hand on the cold doorknob. Fortunately, it wasn't locked either. I looked down the hallway as I listened to the loud creaking of the hinges.
誰もいないね。
No one here, huh?
ああ、
Yeah. Sarika and Ito both looked a little relieved. There was no one in the hallway at all. We slipped past the open doorway and proceeded down the hallway, being careful not to make any noise. Perhaps it was my imagination, but the air seemed more stale here than it did upstairs. Identical doors stretched out on either side, and there was no way to know what was in each room. The letters on the plates were too small to read in the dim light unless you squinted. I got close to one to try and read it when...
おい、誰が来る?
Hey, someone's coming. Sarika and I jumped at Ito's words. I listened carefully, and sure enough, from behind I heard... very slow footsteps, and not just one pair. They were slow, as if only taking one step at a time. I knew those footsteps. They were...
あいつらだ。
It's them.
とにかく一度隠れようよ。
We need to hide somewhere.
隠れるってどこへ?
Oh, where? The door to the emergency stairway was the same way the footsteps were coming from. There was no time to get back there now.
ここ開いてる。
This door's open. I slid inside the door directly next to us. Just before I did, I saw the horrible words written on the plate next to the door. Morgue, morgue, morgue.
何ここ?
Yeah, it's a morgue. What's this place, a locker room? The walls were covered in steel cabinets. They were just big enough for someone to lie down in. This place was...
そうだ。もしかしたらこの中に
I know, maybe we
隠
can
れら
hide
れるかも
this
しれないよ。
Nobody says that! Nobody says that, Sarika! Nobody! Sarika put her hands on one of the cabinet doors.
ちょ、おい!
Wait. The words on the plate had read... autopsy room. Oh, even better! I guess morgue, and it's in the autopsy room. Oh my god! Which meant what was inside was...
ダメだ、おのえ、それは...
Don't do it! Oh no, that's... Hmm? Oh no, it's really bad at listening. I closed my eyes, imagining what I was about to see inside.
どうしたの、タク?
What's wrong, Taku? I opened my eyes when we spoke and saw there was no one. No, nothing
なん
inside.
か変なロッカーだね。
This is a strange locker, huh? Stop, Onoe! How are you this dumb? Please stop!
Oh.
Onoe,
おのえ、これ、ロッカーじゃなくて...
this is not a locker, it's... I whispered to her and she went pale. Ito must have figured it out too, because so did he.
とにかく、この中に隠れるなんてごめんな。
Why am I hiding in
ど
here?
こ
Let's
か
find
別の場所を
somewhere.
探そう。
Dude, just like stay in the room and don't let them see you. Come on. Yeah. The footsteps were still approaching down the hallway. For some reason, it felt like they were coming towards this room. Oh my god, these guys are so bad. So bad. Just, okay. If you don't think they heard you, all you have to do is go into a random ass fucking room, close the door, and hide. You don't even have to hide in the locker. Just don't be visible from the entrance and you'll be fine. Like, behind a desk is fine. Holy shit. These guys are so dumb. Ugh.
嘘だろ。
You're kidding. Why would they be coming to the autopsy room? Besides, don't you want to confront these two idiots? If you're confident this is the two idiots you want to confront, Shouldn't she be waiting to ambush them and saying, like, these are the two, these are the two? This wasn't a place anyone would ordinarily choose to visit. Ito was panicking too. Sure. What do we do? They're coming this way. I listened carefully again. There was no doubt. The footsteps were definitely coming this way. I didn't see any place in the room we could hide. Fair enough. Except one. Damn it. Come on, we have to hide here. Sarika was shaking a little, but she put her hand on one of the cabinet doors. Why are we doing this? This makes us completely defenseless. Oh boy. We can't hide somewhere else. Not there. Also, don't these lock? Don't these lock? Like the handles look... The top of the handle looks movable. Where else? Where else? I looked around and didn't see any other place in the room where the three of us got. Why are you panicking so hard? Stop talking! Holy shit! These guys are the worst. Like, we're in trouble. We need to be quiet. Oh my god, we're in trouble. We need to hide. Oh my god, what are we gonna do? We need to be quiet. Everyone shut the fuck up. Like, come on. Come on. All you gotta do is, like, kill the lights, close the door. Like, kill the lights, let the door close, and you're done. It's not hard. It's not hard. Maybe you can lock the door from the inside. Maybe you can't. Like, just don't be visible from the entrance. Hide in, like, the corners of the room. Come on. I didn't have a choice. I had to do it. Alright. If the lamp on the cabinet was green, did that mean it was empty? Oh my god, is this how we're going? Or did that mean the opposite? I felt all the hairs on my neck stand on end, but still I managed to pull open the door. Thankfully, there was nothing inside. Sariko is normally a ditz, but at times like this, she was really courageous. Her whole body was shaking, but she managed to jump in first. Tucker, there's room for one more. There's room for one more. I'm scared to go into my own, please. He grabbed my hand from inside. She was right. Since Sariko was so small, there was room for one more in here. In there. Ito, sorry. Ito, I'll crawl in with Sarika. You're finding your own room. What? I can't let it know be by yourself. I don't want to be alone in a place like this either. I like how they're spending like 10 minutes arguing. Swear to God, if you could hear footsteps from inside a room with a closed door, like 20 meters down the hallway, then the footsteps outside stopped. Yeah, you're fucked. As I expected, they stopped right outside this door. I felt a terror like someone was pointing a cold knife at my back. Wait a moment, please. I'll open the door. I heard a voice outside. There's no time. Get in, Ito. No, wait, don't. I ignored Ito and yanked open the door next to mine, and then I pushed him in head first. Hurry up. Hurry up. Like, how is this a good solution? You start panicking, you start screaming, and you dive in. Like, come on. If these are the people you're looking for, why the ever-loving fuck are you not, like, interrogating them? You're doing this instead. Not Ito. Our main character is so fucking stupid. It's like, alright, I'm looking for two people, I need to confront them. Oh no, it's the two people. I'm gonna scream and run in terror. We're gonna have a fucking everyone's gonna have a fucking panic attack. You're looking for two people. What the fuck are you doing? Either decide you're gonna ambush them and beat the shit out of them for stealing your fucking phone, or you're gonna go talk to them. Like, what the fuck is this? This isn't either of them. This is like running in terror from your imagination. Oh my god, it's so dumb. Ito held his hands over his mouth to desperately stifle a scream. As soon as he was all the way inside, I shut the door. Okay, I would like to stop for a second. The girl said she'll get the door. She literally has to she literally turns the knob and walks in. It's like a 4-second process. But we're still talking and yelling while she's opening the door. All of this, it would be really bad if it was closed all the way, so I left him a little gap. And then I crouched inside and slid next to Sarika. I was gonna say, I don't think you can open these from the inside. Right, I'm shutting it. Okay. I brought the door close, leaving just enough of a gap it couldn't be seen from the outside. The inside of the cabinet was hard and cold. Yes, it's a fridge. Made sense since no one who was in here would ever complain. Since I was pushed up against Sarika, the parts of my body that were touching hers felt strangely warm, but we didn't have time to enjoy each other's warmth. I looked outside, holding my breath to make as little noise as possible. How do you even have a sight line outside? It should just be like against to the left, right? You shouldn't be able to see anything because your head is blocking that, right? Just a moment later, they came inside. There were 5 or 6 of them. That wasn't 2 people. The fuck? I was sure it would be all old people, but some of them were middle-aged or young men. If it was just old people, I was planning on stealing it by force if I had to, but it was impossible now. What were they doing in a place like this? And then I started to wonder again. A sudden horrible fantasy made my whole body shiver. Were they already dead and this is where they slept? Impossible. This wasn't a horror movie or something, right? I tried to tell myself I was being silly, but I could tell I was shaking. Sarika was probably no different, clinging to me like a little child. We're hiding. I need to talk. We're hiding. I need to talk. We're literally less than 3 feet away from 6 people, and we're like, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Please be quiet. And then I remembered, this is a lot like what happened before. Yeah, coincidence, when the 2 of us had seen that terrifying sight as children. At some point, I started holding her back. It's okay. Let's be right. By the way, you're in like a fridge. Don't those like echo like crazy? Anyway, wouldn't this like echo a little bit? Anyway, it's okay. I'm here. I'll be just fine. Wait for sound waster. I squinted into the darkness. I could see several shadows moving about. Strange men and... One of them was clearly different than the others. You can make out people. How open is this fucking door? How open do one of these doors on the wall behind this girl have to be for you to make someone out but not notice them? Shit, man. It's her. She slowly walked across the room, straight towards where we were hiding. Did she find us? My heart started to pound faster, but it seemed that wasn't the case. The men followed her across my field of vision and stopped in a corner in front of an empty wall. But what are they doing? She opened what seemed like a small breaker box on the wall. Oh my god, it's a fucking conspiracy. Here we go, conspiracy time. You know those things with the yellow warning sign and black or red text that reads danger high voltage? And she took something out of her pocket and slid it inside the box. There was a loud noise on the other side of the wall. Oh, hidden door in the hospital. That's not suspicious. The girl shut the door to the breaker box, put her hand on the wall, and slid it to the side. The wall opened easily as if it were weightless. It must have been some kind of sliding door. She led the man inside and vanished. The wall closed and the dissection room was quiet again. A secret door? Dude, okay. Anyone who's not in a horror movie, instantly call the cops right now. Just like, don't even hesitate. 911 or you don't call the cops, sorry, you call Shinjo and you go, Shinjo, I literally just found a secret room in the hospital. Like, this is connected to the murder case. You need to like get through it now. But I guess the cops are too slow. They'd probably ask questions and the like door would be destroyed or something. Sealed up with concrete. That was scary, huh? What are you talking about? This is even worse. Okay, we're okay now. I waited for a while to make sure she wasn't coming back, then finally opened the cabinet door. Sarika and I crawled out. I took a deep breath of air into my lungs.
なんかここって秘密基地みたい。
This place is like some kind of secret base.
そうだな。
Yeah. Open the electrical box to see what's there. Why would they build a huge mechanism like this? What was going on at the hospital? And what was on the other side of that
お
wall?
い、伊藤。もう出てきても平気だぞ。
Hey, Ito, it's safe to come out. I knocked softly on the door of Ito's cabinet. Shut up, Ito.
しんちゃん
Chin. Ito leapt out of the cabinet, his face pale and hand over his mouth.
静かにしてくれ。
Shut up, Ito. He crouched low to the ground, trying his best not to scream. It was only then I realized the cabinet I'd stuffed Ito in was already occupied. I'd feel bad for you, but you were a fucking idiot and wouldn't get in one. I could see the lamp over the door was red. I hadn't had time to check, but still, that was a horrible thing to do to someone.
しんちゃん大丈夫
I don't even feel that bad for him. We told him to get in one, and he's like, no, so we made him get in one. It wasn't a good one. I don't feel that bad. If we'd done that on purpose, I would have been... I would have felt like we were a little bit of a dick, but not even a bit. Sorry, it was an emergency. We almost all died.
非常事態じゃなかったら今頃ただじゃ済ましてねえぞ。
If it wasn't an emergency, you'd be dead by now, asshole. Yeah, that seems about right.
ほんと悪い。
Really, I'm sorry.
もういい。それより行こうぜ。ほら。
Forget it. Let's go. Come on. Ito staggered onto his feet. Up to his feet. But then he collapsed to the floor. I waited for him to calm down and opened the door to the breaker box like the girl had done.
隠し扉だって
Secret door?
ああ。
Yeah. I looked deep inside the box. There was an RFID scanner like the ones they used at train turnstiles inside.
これじゃカードがないと開かない。
We can't open this with the card. That wasn't good. What should we do? A drink. I think I'll take a drink. That wasn't good. What should we do now? I hadn't anticipated this, but then Sarika, who had been fiddling around with different parts of the wall, let out a small
なん
cry.
だ
What is it?
これちゃんと閉まってないよ
It doesn't look like this was shut right.
何
What? Sarika pointed to her feet. The wall was set to slide upon rails on the floor, but some kind of cloth had gotten stuck and jammed them, so the door wasn't shut all the way. Call for that sketchy lady and the cop. Come on, guys.
伊藤、手を貸せ。
Ito, help me.
OK。
Okay.
よっ
Gotcha. The two of us yanked the door to the side. Very convenient. We heard a loud clunk like something was unlocking and the door, or the wall started to slide open. Call the cops, please. Anytime. Call someone useful. Call someone to let them know where you are. Do literally anything. 5, 4, 3. Too late. One of the men had dropped a handkerchief or something onto the rails. When Sarika pulled it off, the door began to move more freely. And in we go into the enemy base with no weapons and nobody with the balls to even fight what they thought was one little girl and an old lady. You guys are fucked. All that was left was to slide the door open. And beyond it
ま
was
た階段だぜ。
more stairs. Leading down, right? Stairs, I could see stairs going down. It was a sub-basement below the hospital basement. This place was protected by very elaborate camouflage.
なんかやばい雰囲気だな。
This place seems pretty dangerous.
どうする
What do we do, Taku?
ここまで来たんだ。
We've come this far. We have to go
僕は行く
forward.
よ。
Yeah, of course. I'm going down. Alright. Going down, buddy. To be honest, I was terrified what I might find there. You know, there's a bare minimum of 6 people there. You weren't willing to encounter them when there were 2 of them, and you were just intending to talk to them. And you're gonna go encounter them when they're in a secret lair that's... You're contacting a group of 6 people who might be killers, all of them. So you're like, okay, there's 6 or 7 people. They're all murderers. And we were scared to encounter them when we thought there was only 2 of them. Okay. Good plan. Good plan. This character, like, flip-flops between spineless and ballsy. It's really annoying. Like, the minute he's not... if he's under pressure, he screams in terror. The minute he's not under pressure, he's like, I'm gonna be a moron and do stupid shit. Alright. This is something I had to do, no matter what. For a moment, I thought of Cruz. Takuru, please stop this. Don't do anything else. Actually, with Cruz, I feel like he's being so stupid right now. That's our character. How well?
尾上、
Ito.
糸、
Ito.
お前たちはここで待ってても。
Stay here.
冗談じゃねえ
Hell
よ。
no. Ito looked at the cabinets on the wall and moaned a little.
私も
I'm
行
going
く。いざ
to
となったらタクを守らなきゃ。
I have to protect you if you need it.
逆だろ。
You mean I need
さ
to
っき
protect you?
怖いって震えてたのは誰だよ。
Which one of us was shaking back there?
そんなことしてないもん。
I was not. We all looked at each other and nodded a little, then began to descend the staircase. As we went down, it got darker, and the air got heavier and more humid. Who knows what lies for us at the bottom?
大丈夫か、尾上。
Oh no, are you okay?
うん。
Yeah. After we'd gone down for a few minutes, we ran into a door. What lies beyond the door? I'm afraid we're gonna have to find that out next time.